Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live. As y'all can see, I am not alone. I got a full house. I got a crew with me here today, so nobody
squad
act stupid. Nah. So as you can see, my main man G, he's here with us tonight. Welcome back, G. And got Bryant transformed there in the upper right corner. And
what's good, brother?
Chilling. And in the lower right, we got Big Red, host of the Last Rewind podcast. If you remember, he was with us maybe 2 Saturday nights ago. What's up, Big Red?
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you having me back on, man.
No doubt, man. No doubt. How all y'all fellas doing tonight, man?
Swell,
good now because I'm out of the heat now. I'm back in the AC.
I hear that.
Hey, that's real.
Can't hear you, G. What you got, man?
I think I got about until 10 or 11 o'clock before I get like thunder showers and I need to move in the cover. But today was a good day, man. I got up, poured a cup of coffee, and then I turned on, watching the coffee, turned on the Format Podcast and catching up with my people, right? Normalizing stuff like that, man, because this is authentic and it comes directly from sources of guys of intelligence. I'll say that, man.
Hey, man,
Big Red, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man, but I'm going to give you some advice. I would stay outside as hot as it is. If it's going to have rain and thunderstorms, I'd be outside and do the podcast if I were you, because it's hot.
That ain't going to happen, bro.
You hear that fire truck? It's so hot, they got to call the fire people to put
I'm in Baltimore City, man. I'm sorry, I'm in Baltimore City, right? I don't know where you guys are. I know you in Jacksonville, Bruce. But,
yes, sir. So you know it's
out same place.
What up, Sneed? Was good, bro. Good to see you, brother.
North Carolina out here. Humid and muggy.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody out here burning up in this. Everyone burning up.
It felt like a stank mouth out here in North Carolina. That's what it felt like.
I sweat about 5 pounds off today in that heat, man. It was nuts.
Yeah, no doubt. So before we get started on this first topic, well, before we even do all that, y'all know what time it is, man. Anybody watching, you know what it is. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't wait. All right. Make sure y'all do that, man. Make sure y'all are hitting that like and that subscribe button in YouTube if you haven't already. All right, cool. So, real quick, did anybody catch what Caitlin Clark did today?
She had a pretty good stat line from far as what I saw.
More history, bro. So, man, this WNBA thing, this Rookie of the Year race is going to be down to the wire. She's the first player in WNBA history with 29 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 threes, 5 steals, and 3 blocks in one game. Crazy.
3 blocks.
Yeah. That's the same thing.
So that was the same response I had. Same response. I'm like,
IGI.
Caitlin Clark?
How many turnovers did she have?
Nah, I didn't check that part of the
17.
She might have triple double.
Probably. She a quadruple double with turnovers. No, but I mean, you can see like she's getting more and more comfortable. Like the learning curve is shrinking for her as opposed to when she first entered the league. And I know, G, hold on, I'm getting to it, bro. We actually talked about this right before you got on. How it's my opinion that as long as they keep playing this way, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese really need to be co-rookie of the year.
I've said that.
Yeah,
they need to make them Jason Kidd and Grant Hill, because I think both of them, it wouldn't be undeserved if either one of them won or if they did it that way, because both of them are out here consistently making history as rookie players. So you do that, it's even better for the marketing, and it's even better for the rivalry that they're building. So I think it would be fantastic for the league, especially have them standing up there, both of them holding the trophy or whatever. And then, later you give them their own or whatever. But I think it would be perfect if they did co-rookie of the years. What's your thoughts on that, fellas?
I agree. I've been saying that for like the last 2 weeks, based on that Jason Kidd Grant Hill year. I said they're going to end up doing co-rookies of the year. And as far as marketability, them having a big rival, that's the best decision for the league. Is to get both of them. And
absolutely, man. When you got both of them putting up numbers that haven't been done in WNBA this far, like they're only rookies. You know what I mean? Randall Reese with the double thing. You know what I mean? Caitlin Park, what she just did tonight. You know what I mean? And still airing it out from 30. You know, in 3 blocks. That's impressive. Especially when you talk about Caitlin Clark, who's not known as a defender at all. So no, that's huge, man. And like I said in a previous podcast we had before, the dramatics of it. You know what I mean? The rivalry of it. Like it just makes sense. Man, I feel like you can't go wrong with being like, hey, these are our rookies of the year. You know what I mean? So they definitely deserve it.
G, go ahead, make your case for Angel Reese. I know where you're going, bro.
I'm going 100% Angel Reese, but I think to agree with everyone else, I think they both are starting to play off of each other's, right? That rivalry in the league and the WNBA is definitely bringing in seats, and they can see that. But now you're starting to see them starting to elevate each other's game. We saw Angel drop 25 and 16 against her, right? Like shook her cage so much so that now she's starting to put them numbers up now. And so I'm curious to see how Angel is going to respond to her stat line, right?
Yeah. She takes things personally, doesn't she? Like you can see it.
Oh, absolutely.
But I like that though. Because I
don't think it's going to be a I think it's going to be somebody going to feel like they get robbed. They're getting robbed, and what that's going to do is put more viewership on the WNBA.
That's a great point.
But yeah, man, I'm still rocking with Angel Reese. I'm just curious to see how she responds to that, that 29, right? So
she might come out with a 2020 or something like that. You know? Yeah. She beast. She a beast, and I love it though. I love it. Like we said, man, it's good for the WNBA. It's good for basketball, and to see that, I think it's just beautiful, and it's exactly what the league wants to market. And I don't care, who feels a way about it. I think it's perfect, and I don't think the league itself could have scripted this thing any better than how it's going.
Oh, true that. I mean, the viewership shows it. The viewership definitely shows it. You know what I mean?
That's
I mean, they quadrupling their numbers from last year. Come on now, it only makes sense, man.
Yeah. All right.
So only had 5 turnovers too. By the way, I just saw that.
That's crazy when you say somebody only had 5 turnovers, right?
America's Apple turnover. America's Apple turnover.
You killing me, G. It's like warm apple pie. Oh my goodness. What Sneed saying here? A co-rookie of the year designation would connect them for their entire career. It's huge marketing. Commercials, playoff games, daily sports talk material. I love it. That's an outstanding point. Good stuff, Sneed. As always.
WNBA Magic Bird.
Magic Bird. Right. And Angel Reese is not, obviously she's not as skilled as Magic was, but the potential for that rivalry is perfect. It works.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I think the WNBA is obviously loving that. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get to the first topic. We got a little sidetracked, but that was a good little distraction, a good little piece to discuss. We're talking about, we have what could be a very different NBA next season. And obviously the Boston Celtics won their championship this year, number 18 in history. And so now everybody in the East is like gearing up and working, to put themselves in best position to beat them. The Celtics are going to have a hell of a time trying to repeat. To the Transformers point, we talked about this the other night. Even as a diehard, lifelong Celtics fan, I'm not sure that they can pull that off if everybody in the East is healthy, because we got some serious lineups. So let's give a quick rundown, and let's start with some of the big moves. And obviously, number one, we're not going to delve into the whole thing, but we talked about it last time. Paul George to the Sixers. I think that's huge. G, you weren't here. Big Red, you weren't here. So let's start with you guys. Your thoughts on Paul George to the Sixers, what that could mean in the East, what that could mean in the NBA playoff race, what that could mean to the Celtics. Thoughts?
Potentially, I would say they could be a top 3 team in the East. But realistically,
Embiid
is going to be hurt.
Yep.
If I just want to be honest, he's going to be hurt. Unless
so
he drops 30 pounds. And let's not forget, he's playing on Team USA, so he's not taking the summer off.
Oh,
so
boy.
He's putting more damage on those knees.
I didn't even think about that.
The osteoarthritis is going to kick in early next season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him going through the whole season. I don't see him getting the 65 games, which I think is the minimum. If he's trying to get MVP, I don't see him going far in the playoffs. Paul George is kind of injury prone too. Yeah. So I don't see that. He's getting a year older.
Right.
His skills are declining. He's not the same defender as he was. He's still a dynamic player. But who's their coach for the Sixers?
Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse. Okay. Nick Nurse, he might put them in a good position. I was thinking Doc Rivers. I forgot he went to the Bucks. Yep. I was thinking he might put them in a good position to win based off the other players under them. But it's all going to depend on availability. That's what's going to make them make it to the top three of the Eastern Conference. But I still do not think they can win a championship. I think they're going to disappear because Embiid, even when he is healthy, he disappears in the playoffs.
Well, that's been the knock on him, but I will say, what did he average? 35 and 10 in the playoffs this year. Now he went out in the first round, so it's kind of like, eh.
I give him a little bit of a pass because he did have whatever he was going on with his face. That's right. I give him that pass.
Yeah. G, where you on Paul George and Philly, and what type of effect you think that'll have?
First thing first, you need to take Kobe number off. That's first thing first before we get started.
That's real.
Yeah. Hey, man, he's trying to pay homage, G. He's trying to pay homage. He said,
no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Nah,
you got to do that after you win.
Yeah.
Who has his number?
Win, right? Like you have to do that after you win. I think low
Paul George has that number.
Yeah, he changed to number 8. He said he wanted to pay homage to Kobe as his idol.
I'm not mad at that, right? But however, I think you win first and then you resurrect Kobe, right? Like, but load management is going to be at an all-time high with the 76ers. So if you are a ticket holder, just trust and believe when you show up, one of those two stars, right? Or one of them is not going to play, right? For most of the season. And so I think they get started. It's the East, so it may be an easier route. People tend to get hurt in the East, and they can, kind of crawl into the playoffs, or you got teams crawling into the playoffs, and it becomes one of those things where the healthiest team is going to win, right? And so
that's what I think too.
That's what it was last year.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Celtics were still the best team in the East, and they got a favorable matchup in the finals. But I do think, to your point, I know that, and every team has a little bit of luck in winning a championship, but as much as I don't want to admit it, those Celtics, they had the best record all year, but they didn't look to me like some dominant team that just, like an all-time great title team that's just going to steamroll through. And to your point, Transformer, I got to admit it, they got a lot of breaks, literally, in terms of other teams being broken,
Yeah, like I said, like the teams that we thought they was going to give them the biggest threat, Milwaukee, Philly, both gone. You know what I mean? Giannis goes down. That's one of the greatest players in the Eastern Conference in the NBA. Embiid goes down, one of the greatest, the reigning MVP. You know what I mean? So if you don't have those test matchups, and you're walking through what's left, you know what I mean? So at that point, that's why I'm like, I'm real iffy on that. Like they were talking about a repeat already. Like whoa.
Now you got to prove it.
Now you got to prove it. You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
Knicks got better. You know what I mean? Philly got better. Like I said, Tobias Harris turned Super Saiyan and Paul George. You know what I mean? So, you definitely got, stiffer competition. So it's going to be a challenge. They can get through this one. I'll tip it.
I got you.
And
being 100% honest and being objective, you're absolutely right. And think about it. You didn't even mention the fact that they got Indiana, who earned their way to the conference finals, but then they lost their big gun in Tyrese Halliburton. He went down. So it's like Celtics got a major break in every round going through. But the flip could also be that now that they broke through, they know what it takes, and now they could mentally be in a position where they could, because a lot of times, what do you hear? Like a team knows how to win now. You know what I'm saying? Oh.
Yeah, I really think what's going to happen is you're going to see a lot of load management across the East.
Diddy.
A lot of load management across the East, man. Like,
yeah, you will.
Yeah, because teams realize, when it came down to it, they wasn't healthy, and now they got to protect those assets, those superstars, as much as possible, man. Like,
yeah.
I
I don't know when it happened that these players who today are supposed to be the most finely conditioned athletes we've ever seen in the NBA can't get through a season. Like, I don't know what it is that happened or how it happened or when it happened. It's weird to me, man. But it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I'm not gonna beat that drum. Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned one of y'all mentioned the Knicks, and Knicks re-signed OG Anunoby. They lost Hartenstein, but then they get Mikal Bridges.
Yep.
So they got like the entire Villanova championship core on that team. One thing is those guys are grinders. They're tough. They're gonna defend. And they know each other extremely well. They got team chemistry already from winning 2 chips together in college. I don't think I've ever seen something like that happen in the NBA before. Have you? I don't think
I can't recall it. I can't recall it at all. Like you have 4 of the championship, five of the championship.
Is it 5 now?
I think it's 5. So you got Josh Hart,
right?
You got
DiVincenzo,
Jalen DiVincenzo, you got Mikal Bridges,
right?
Is it one more?
No, I thought it was just the 4.
Okay, it's just the 4 then. I mean, then, you know what I mean? 4. Yeah,
right. 4 key components of a championship college roster. I've never seen this happen before.
It's college nepotism. That's what it is.
Nepotism. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, that's bugged out. But now you see a team that is almost. They're probably not as good, but like defensively and offensively, they're I guess kind of mirroring the Celtics in terms of having the 3-and-D guys and the wing defenders and all of that, and being able to switch everything and not lose anything and not get caught in difficult matchups. I guess unless they line up against a team that has legitimate bigs, and there's not really too many of those left in the modern NBA. So it's probably what the NBA wants to see and what a lot of teams are trying to build, and it is specifically clearly made to match up with the Celtics, and that should be good when they play each other.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be box office for sure. Definitely gonna be box office.
The key to this is what's Julius Randle going to do this year? Is Julius Randle going to return to where he was when he first got to the Knicks, when he got traded from the Lakers, or is it we going to see the steady decline that we see each year, where his offensive numbers ain't worth the crap that he pisses in a bucket?
I think you're gonna see him on the trade block.
I think he probably should.
I think that's the reality of it. You're definitely going to see him on the trade block.
Yeah, I am curious to see how he's going to be able to fit back in there, and if mentally he's going to be able to put himself in a place where he doesn't come back and say, I was the man before I went down. If he can, if he can step back in and say, okay, let me find my place, let me contribute to winning, and let's try to win this chip. Because I guarantee you, I don't think it's going to happen, but let's just say, for the sake of discussion, that the New York Knicks win the championship. Every one of those guys is a made man forever in the NBA and in New York City.
For life, B.
For life,
B.
Right. Exactly. They're going to be walking around like money making Mitch. You know what I'm saying? Getting love.
Boy. You would have thought they the first team to get 19 chips. That's how crazy they're going to act.
Oh, it would be insane. Because what's it been? 73 was the last one for the Knicks. That's 5 years. 50 years.
Ooh, wow, 50 years?
Mm-hmm. 50 years, yep. So if they can pull that off, it's going to be serious. G, your thoughts on the way the Knicks constructed this team, and how do you think that they match up well against the Celtics? And if they were to play them, let's say both teams healthy, we always take health for granted in these discussions, but let's just say that. What are your thoughts about the matchup there?
I think we have to assume that the Knicks will be healthy next year, especially considering they have a really good coach. Chemistry is there, right? That's something that we haven't seen before, and so I look forward to see how these guys kind of gel together on an NBA level. Julius Randle coming in, hopefully comes in healthy, and he's the dog that he used to be, right? That we know him as, and yeah, as far as the Tatum and the Mr. Brown tandem, I think that's going to be one to watch for. But it's too early to say that the Celtics won't repeat, right? Like that's almost impossible to do. Both of those guys got paid, so they're gonna get fat. They got a chip, and so I don't know if that considering the odds of you doing a back to back or a repeat is slim to none, right? It's just hard to see. I don't know what Tatum going to do, man. He's still a choke artist in my book.
Man. He came up big in that game 5,
he's
man.
a choke artist in my book, man. So teams are tooled up, man. They tooled up, man. They ready. And so it's going to be interesting to watch East basketball.
Yeah, it is.
And
it hasn't been that way for a while.
Can't put the Knicks there either, man. I really, with that, even with those moves, I can't put the Knicks in like the Eastern Conference Final because the East still. I mean, Dame was hurt last year, right?
Dame was hurt. Giannis was hurt.
Yeah, Giannis was hurt.
That's two key superstars. Those are superstars. They aren't stars, right?
Right.
What's his name? Paul George. He's a star. We don't know if that titanium leg is going to hold up for 82 games and then push them in the final. So I mean, it's just those key matchups though. Like if Tatum stay in the gym, stay hungry, right? He got that generational wealth contract.
Yeah.
And a lot of times teams get fat, they get married, and they sit one out. They sit one out. So they get fat and happy, and they sit one out, man. So it'll be interesting to see how things gel.
I think the plus is in terms of Tatum specifically. I do agree with you that a lot of times dudes win one, and it's a lot easier for them to your point, sit back, get fat and happy. But if you really want to be like truly special playing in that organization, just like it is with the Lakers, you got to do it again, right? It's like who won one, and Kobe was like, okay, you think you're special, do it again. You know what I'm saying? It's like in those organizations, one is not enough, huh?
Was it Giannis? I think it was Giannis.
I think it was.
I think it was Giannis.
I think it was. And Kobe was like, okay.
I want to say, I think he put, because it made it seasonal homework.
I think so.
Kobe kept giving him a goal at the beginning of the season.
That's right.
Like, hey, I want you to go get MVP. I want you to go win a championship, win another one. I think it was Giannis. I want to say it was Giannis.
That sounds about right. So the point is, in those organizations like that, okay, you have to win one to be considered to be considered in that echelon of greatness in those championships. But then it's like, okay, all right, you won one. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go get it again. So we'll see. There will be some pressure, coming from the top with the C's, but we'll see if they can get it done. And right now, to all of y'all's point, it looks very difficult. You got something, Big Red?
With the Knicks, though, the Knicks, to me, they'll be fool's gold. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because Tom Thibodeau. Look at every team he has been in. Now he gets his players to play harder than probably any coach there is in the league.
That's right.
But that's also to the detriment of the team because he wears them out. He shortens his rotation when the playoffs come. And you saw it this year.
Yeah.
Game 7 with the Pacers and the Knicks. Them boys was tired. Brunson wore off, got injured. It happens with every team that Thibodeau goes to. The teams wear out towards the end. They were second in the NBA in the Eastern Conference last year. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, I
think they played great together, but he always shortens the rotation. He keeps his starters on the floor damn near the entire game. Yeah. And by the time the playoffs get here, they get wore out either in the second or the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think it's going to happen again this year because that's his coaching style. He's hard-nosed defense. Offense is not a lot of variety in the offense. Since Jalen Brunson go to work, play quarterback, and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be fool's gold. He's going to have a great record next year. Probably he might be top 3 or 4 next year, maybe even number 2. Who knows? But by the time the playoffs get here, they're going to be wore out.
I don't think he knows any other way to coach. And I'm not sure he's ever had a roster that was truly deep enough that he didn't have to coach that way. So I don't know.
Closest thing he had was the Celtics, and he wasn't the coach then, but it was Doc Rivers' team.
Right. Popovich did the same thing, all his championship runs and all that.
Not that short of a rotation. No.
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad. And remember, realistically, Pop is the guy who is responsible for load management as it is in the modern NBA. He started it. As much as I want to blame it on the players, Pop was the one who started that. So,
Yeah, and Thibodeau is not resting his players at any point. You
Everybody
play until your
plays
feet
44
fall
minutes.
off.
Right. Would Josh Hart play
44
like 3 games in a row, 48 minutes in the playoffs? They worked him like a dog out there. It was crazy. So that's a great point, Big Red. I definitely feel you on that. It's gonna be
at the same time, you know, I think it was Mike MJ, right? Who, you know, even if when they lost, they would play till July the 1st, right?
Mm-hmm.
To go the entire, like if they didn't make the playoffs, they would still play. He was like one of the first players to change how these players look at the game, as far as ensuring that the endurance is there and conditioning is there.
Right.
So to Thibodeau's point, you have to work your players, right? Or when it comes playoff time, they won't have that steam, they won't have that bounce, and they won't be able to compete on high levels deep in the playoffs. And so I think one part of it is you know, there has to be some type of load management. Josh playing 44 minutes a game is crazy work, but they also need to have that as well, right? Like, you are a professional athlete, you get paid to play basketball, and you should be able to play the entirety of a game if you get those
needed, if necessary.
Yeah.
Right. But it shouldn't be necessary every game, to y'all's point. So I get that. Get that.
You train to be able to play those games when you need it, but not every day. And you can't be Ivan Drago every game.
Right. Yardley, appreciate the super chat, my brother. Thank you so much, man. Let's see. Bronny James playing a little better, but man, he's not aggressive. Yeah, we'll get to that. I actually have the game on my other monitor here, so I'm
tuned in.
Yeah, that's why you see me looking off to the side.
Panning over.
Bronny got no dog in him. What's up, Maximus? That is correct. Listen, anybody in the chat, if you're new here, this is your first time, I definitely appreciate y'all being here. Thanks so much for stopping in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Appreciate that. It's going to help the show grow. It's going to help the show spread. We're on a hot streak right now, so let's keep it going, y'all. Bronny, we are going to get to Bronny in the next topic, I promise you. As you can see on the rundown, Bronny James saga, we are going to discuss it. We are going to discuss more of the clown show that is the Los Angeles Lakers.
Relax.
Hey, man, listen,
I'm right here, man.
This is not even me taking a shot at the Lakers. This is just sad, like what and hear me on this. This is sad. What a phenomenal what was once a phenomenal organization is currently looking like. And we talked about it. I truly hope that it gets back to being what it once was, because that's better for basketball. But we'll get there. All right, cool. So we talked a little bit about the East and some great things that happened there. So let's talk a little bit. Let's go to the West and a few big moves there. So we had, speaking of the East and going West, DeMar DeRozan, who was formerly a Chicago Bull, and we know he's from Compton, right? I believe he's from Compton. And so obviously he grew up a Laker fan, obviously wanted to be a Laker. So me and Transform was talking about this earlier in the week. I was under the impression he was a free agent, but it was a sign and trade that sent him to the Kings. But the question is, with the power that these players have today, you don't think that if he wanted to be in LA, that wouldn't have happened? They wouldn't have worked that out? Think about it. If you from Compton, you grew up loving the Lakers, and he's young, so he didn't grow up loving Magic in the Lakers. He grew up loving Kobe in the Lakers. All respect due. Shaq and Kobe and them. I get it. So now you have the opportunity to try and play for them or play for the Kings. What's it going to be? Something isn't right there.
Like I was telling you before, like telling you the other day, the money had to make sense. All right? The money had to make sense. If you go look at the contract that he got when he just signed with the Kings, who gonna pay him that?
Well, it's only what, 3 years, 74 mil, so it's not big money. I remember
who has that amount of money in LA. We don't even have 18 mil to give to anybody right now. LeBron would have had to take a massive pay cut. D'Lo opted in, so we can't use him as a part of, you know what I'm saying, that money that fell off. So like I was saying, like the money just didn't make sense. We was in conversation back and forth with DeMar. I'm saying we because but we was in conversation back and forth, but that money just couldn't make sense. We couldn't hit home on the dollar amount. You know what I mean? I truly believe DeMar he's worth what he's getting paid. You know, so I think it was more on that line of like, man, I want to be in LA, but I also want to get paid. I'm not trying to get paid no mid-level exception. I'm not trying to get paid no $15 million a year because they're still trying to figure it out. We couldn't offer them money that we didn't have. You know what I mean? So I think that played a lot into it, man. I'm pretty sure we would have welcomed him there. I'm pretty sure if the money was there, DeMar would have been there, but the money just wasn't.
Yeah, and I believe one of the big keys, it's hard to take less in California with that 14% state income tax. Yeah, so you got that. So it's not even like, okay, this is where I want to be, so I'm willing to take a haircut. So I kind of get that. Big Red, what are your thoughts on not even just so DeMar DeRozan didn't get there. Paul George obviously didn't get there. Klay Thompson didn't get there. But none of these guys even like attempted to try and make it work. I get what Transform is saying with the money, but none of these guys even attempted to make it work. And these are all West Coast guys. Is there something going on why they don't want to play or didn't even attempt to try and make something work with the team they all grew up loving?
Easy, because they love them because they were about winning championships. And they're no longer in the winning championship game. Like I told you on the other podcast, the Lakers are now the Dallas Cowboys. It's all about entertainment now.
That's a fact.
You know, I don't even think LeBron.
Time out.
Oh yeah.
No, we're not. We're not finna go there. When last time Dallas won?
Huh?
When last time Dallas won?
Oh, they won 1995. I'm talking about right now, currently. I'm not talking about the last 3 years. We're talking about right now, currently.
All right, pick a different team. Team.
I'm picking Dallas. That's what we're going
Dallas
with.
Dallas been doing that for 30 years.
But you're right. We've done it longer, better. Yeah, you're right.
An analogy in terms of
y'all catching up. I could go with
we just won a championship 4 years ago. 4 years ago.
I know. Here's what I said. I said the Dallas Cowboys have done it better, longer, not in a good way. I'm saying in a bad way. We've done it in a bad way, in a good way for so long. Y'all have won championships over that time since, the 2000s, whatever. I'm saying currently, right now, y'all are in the entertainment business. Y'all are now about, you can't say that y'all trying to win championships because that's why nobody wants to go there. What's the other reason why none of these players in the last few years, and LeBron has to make a tweet talking about, is it me? Yeah, it's you.
Oh, he did?
He said that last year. I think it was 2 years ago or last year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yes, it's you.
2 years ago.
Yes, Bron, it's you. Yes, it is. But okay. So we have I didn't even get your thoughts, man. Where are you on this? And I guess that's all part of the whole Bronny James thing. But I do find it interesting that such a legendary organization as the Celtics. There we go. You're right, Sneed. You're right. But it is interesting that such a legendary organization has fallen on what it's fallen on, and it's sad.
And let me add one more point. They don't want to be the blame for why they lose every year, too. These upcoming years. They don't want to be the blame, like the coach is the blame, the players is the blame. It's never the single supposed to be GOAT on their team or in the NBA's history. It's always everybody else, and they don't want to be a part of that narrative.
I think as fans, right, we only see one side of the sport, right? We see what the end product that they put on the court. We don't see that, we don't know that, the Lakers won't be able to compete deep in the playoffs in the next 4 or 5 years, right? We can't see that based off of what team is in place. But you have a coach that never coached the game before, and so you put him in those crucial moments, he's probably going to choke 9 times out of 10. But then you look at like DeRozan, like he's a seasoned player. He don't have years to kind of dwindle away and play under that, pretty Madonna and or that what they call it. It's just a sinking. The team is going to sink, man. Like everybody knows that the product that they put on the floor is not a championship team. And so if I'm DeRozan, I'm looking at, all right, well, I'm 10 years in the league, 10, 15 years in the league, and I want to win now. I want to go where I can get my 30 shots a game. I want to go someplace where, there's excuse my language, there's a bigger dick on the court than I am. You know what I mean? Like I am a superstar, and I want to be advertised as such. I don't want to be the sidekick to LeBron.
That's right.
He about to be the sidekick to Darren Fox.
Debatable, bro. That's debatable.
He's going to be the sidekick.
That's debatable, bro. That's Fox's team.
That's debatable, bro. You bring a DeRozan, DeRozan in your huddle, bro. Like that's a bucket. That's a clutch bucket.
I'm just saying, what has DeRozan done to automatically come in and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm taking over.
He's a superior mid-range player, bro. Like superior mid-range player.
I gotta agree with him. Aaron Fox is the guy. I think
DeRozan. Brother.
So let me say this: a big piece of him also not fitting with the Lakers. If we're fair, LeBron has to have certain kind of players around him, and DeMar DeRozan is not going to be a guy who's sitting out there shooting the three, waiting on kickouts. Yeah. DeMar DeRozan is a slasher. DeMar DeRozan, to your point, G, is a superior, outstanding mid-range shooter. Mike Miller, we definitely going to get to that next topic, bro. I hear you, man. We're going to get to that shortly. Yeah, he's that's the type of player he is, and that does not fit with LeBron. And so that's probably another reason that he didn't end up there, even if they could make the money work. So there's that. And of course, he doesn't want to be the damn scapegoat like everybody else. So, you know.
Klay Thompson, I guess, would have worked out good with him being a spot-up shooter.
Klay Thompson would have been perfect. He would have been perfect. But, you know, I think he said he didn't want to be in the fishbowl of LA after coming out of the fishbowl of Golden State, which I thought was telling. But, you know.
Rosen is a lot more consistent than Klay is. Klay has been. Yeah, he's a lot more consistent. Yeah. So
Rosen's what, 35?
Yeah. Klay is a place where he can sit in the back. He can sit in the back. He can take the back seat on some games. And then he has those breakout games where he just cooked. But a lot of times, you know, he's just a streaky player. He's a streaky player, but he's a vet too as well. And so that was something that they need towards the end. We saw that in the finals where they didn't have that other veteran player who was seasoned enough to be able to carry the team
and make shots when other guys are struggling. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So before we move off of the Kings, how do you guys think the addition of DeRozan is going to help the Kings in terms of moving forward? Obviously, Domantas Sabonis, he's an all-NBA type player. De'Aaron Fox is an outstanding guy. Only reason he's not an all-star is because it's so hard to make all-star in the West at guard, but he's an outstanding player. Obviously, they're well coached with Mike Brown. What are you guys' thoughts on how DeMar DeRozan is going to help the Kings and what that does for them going forward this year?
It's so hard to predict, man, because the Western Conference is just packed, man.
It is.
I won't be shocked if they're like the 6th seed. Let me just say that. I won't be shocked because I mean the top from 1 to 4. I mean that's pretty much sold up. You know what I mean? So that 5, 6. All right, now you can talk about getting into that spot. But you got Denver, you got Dallas,
you got Minnesota.
You still got Phoenix out there. You know what I mean? Yet they had a horrible year last year, but Phoenix is still there. You know what I mean? So
coach,
yeah, you got KD, you got Bradley Beal, and
next topic, my man. We're gonna discuss it.
Oh, he going in, but he won't let nobody relax. With me, bro. He won't let nobody relax. But like I said, I'm not shocked if I see him at the 5 or 6 seed. Wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah. Hey, transform. It looked like Dominique had my man sit in, huh?
Sometimes you got to let the trolls be what they are, bro.
Oh my goodness.
I mean? So
Malik Monk, that's going to be a big thing tomorrow, next year when he comes back from his injury. You know, he got hurt last year. That would have helped out a big deal in the playoffs. I think he's going to be a year better. And of course, like I said, DeMar DeRozan, they could be anywhere between, I think, 4th and 6th seed.
Right.
It's so hard to predict. I can't even predict who's going to be the best team next year in the West, just because of how packed it is. I got to wait for the rest of the trades to go through.
Yeah, because still Mark, they still trying to put Laurie Marketing. State might get him. That could shift it again. Now we're looking at who's fighting for 7 and 8. You know what I mean? So.
Based on how the regular season was last year, nobody thought the Mavs was going to go to the finals.
No,
I like that, Maximus. That was good. That was pretty simple. Nice. Well done.
Good pun, but they ain't got no titles. So
well done, man. Well done.
Yeah, good pun.
No, but all right, so next up, we touched on it, was the big move, Klay going to Dallas, which I think was huge. And again, he spurned the king, which I loved a great deal. You know, he could have got more money in LA, and he said, "Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna head down here to Texas, and I'm gonna play there." Which realistically, I don't know if that was necessarily even the better move, because Luka plays like a younger LeBron, really. So we'll see. I guess he got a better vibe But you know what? I think he probably has more confidence in the coaching situation in Dallas than he does.
I would definitely agree there.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely agree there.
Yeah. Anybody thoughts on what's this guy? Klay Thompson heading down to Dallas?
I mean, I think it's a good trade for him. He's going to be good on the team. I just wonder, are they going to change the format of how Luka plays next year? Is he going to be the main point guard next year, where he's going to, I think, wear himself? I think he got wore out last year too. He played through it, granted, and he didn't make no excuses. But I think he got wore out last year. Why do you have Kyrie and you're the main point guard on the team? I think they need a point guard.
Because you can't play without the ball.
To change the dynamic of that team, I think
because Luka cannot play without the basketball. He
has to have the ball.
He's smart enough to be able to do that, I think.
He is, but when you've been playing a certain way for so long, it's very difficult for you to do that. Quick note here. I see got a bunch of people in the chat. Thanks so much for stopping in. I see some new faces and new names here, so I appreciate y'all. Do me a favor, please go ahead and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure you hit that share button too. Let other people that want to hear sports talk and want to hear it from a different angle and not just kicking the same old stuff you hear on ESPN and FS1. Let them know. Let them come on in and check out the show with you. All right,
absolutely. We need more Bronny Sucks in the chat, not just one person. We need more Bronny Sucks. We need more of those. Come on, keep them coming, baby. Keep them coming.
So, Maximus, you said something interesting here. Luka will always be the point, and I think I get that because that's just how he has to play. But Mel from Man Down Sports, shout out to Man Down Sports, great show. If you want to check that out another time as well. One of the things he said, and I was really I hadn't even thought about it. He was here last week. One of the things that he said was, how can you play a position if you can't defend that position? And that's something that I had never heard before. So he's like, Luka can't be the point. He can't defend point guards. And I was like, that's fair.
Did Magic Johnson do that?
He did. Now, obviously,
point guards.
Yeah, he did, because you used to see him matched up against Dennis Johnson. You saw him matched up against Isaiah Thomas. Yeah. Now
he switched up quite a bit though with Michael Cooper.
Well, the physics of it made things more difficult, but when you're playing the Celtics, he has to defend Dennis Johnson. Why? Because Michael Cooper is going to be on Bird. You know what I'm saying? Michael Cooper was primarily on the best wing scorer of the opposing team. So Magic oftentimes had to deal with the point guard. And we got to remember, back then, point guards weren't scoring like point guards score now. So it was less of a difficult thing. Okay. They were more floor generals, right? So it was a little less strain on Magic in terms of trying to defend that. Right, so he's in the West. He's defending John Stockton and these guys. So it wasn't like now he's not trying to D up what's an example, a John Morant or one of these, or Jalen. We were just talking about him from the Knicks.
Brunson.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson or something like that. Yeah. So it was different. So Magic could do that back then.
But the real question is, can he defend anybody?
Who, Luka?
Yeah, let alone.
No, they call him Mr. Blowout for a reason.
Not really. But
Mr. Blowout.
He did try in Game 4. He tried in Game 4.
Those guys didn't get better on defense with Klay. Adding Klay didn't make them a better defensive team.
That's true.
They just fed into the offensive aspect, which is the NBA today, right? It's all offense. And so, they find themselves in the same situation, except if Klay can fill some of those offensive holes that they, when Luka wasn't going and Kyrie wasn't going, and instead of having somebody so adding him, they was able to add another player who could knock down the three and extend the floor. Now you can't really clog the perimeter because you have to play everybody straight up now, and in order to double team, that 4, that 5 need to come up. So it changes their 5 guard sets if that's something that they want to do, or that 4 guards and 1 big man in the hole. And I think, that's my last point. I don't really have another point. I think they find themselves, deep in the playoffs, but only this time they're able to knock down that 3 a little more consistent than they were when Luka and Kyrie could go. Now you have that kick out option, and it's a higher 3-point percentage that you add to that team. Defensive wise, I think they're still in the same place, and if they had to play the Celtics again, we will probably still see the same outcome.
I agree with that.
I agree.
With that being said, if they Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you good.
I was about to say, with that being said, and I agree with you what you're saying, they're going to have to change their defensive veracity next year. If they ever want to, win the big thing, that's going to take more energy out of Luka. And he's already got what the highest usage rate in NBA history, right above Jordan.
I believe so.
And the thing is, when people mention Jordan's high usage rate, he played within the offense. He scored a lot, but he played within the offense. He wasn't always on ball. He wasn't the point guard all the time. He wasn't
bringing the ball up the court.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Luka is bringing the ball up, going somebody playing him full court sometime defending him. Mm-hmm. He got to find somebody else that can take the ball up, and then he can get set in offense once the point guard gets down to the other half court. He's got to rest at some point because he played some heavy minutes towards the finals too.
So what I was thinking, and I don't know if it was you I discussed this with or with the Transformer, maybe Klay is going to bring some of the offensive sets, the ball and body movement stuff that they use to such a great extent in Golden State, and bring that with him and sit down with Jason Kidd and Luka and Kyrie and talk this through and say, hey, these are some things that we can integrate into our offense to take some of the pressure off of Luka and to, free guys up more for better shots, right? Because the Splash Brothers, they weren't just Splash Brothers by virtue of just, pulling up from 30 all the time, which of course they could. Because think about it, Steve Kerr, what he was doing was what? He was using aspects of the triangle that he got from Phil Jackson, and he was using aspects of the motion offense that they were running in San Antonio with Coach Pop.
A lot of motion.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So he's putting all that together and utilizing it to do what? Create what beautiful basketball, like Kevin Durant said, right? Mm-hmm. And so he's gonna, I would assume, if he's smart, he's gonna try, and he probably already talked to Jason Kidd about it, bringing some of those elements of Golden State's offense and trying to incorporate what they can into it. Now the key is Luka Doncic going to be willing to accepting coming off the ball more and moving more, right?
He's going to have to.
It just occurred to me, if you got the ball all the time, you can control your energy expenditure. If you're playing without the ball, that means you have to move. That means you have to cut. You have to screen and do all these things, and all that takes more energy as well. So if they're incorporating more of that, that means that you have to play in a way so as to you have to train in a way so as to be in better condition for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have confidence he's going to do that this off season?
No, I don't.
He already out of the Olympics now, right? So
yeah. He's not playing in the Olympics. Giannis
took him back a few beers now.
Probably right, and Michael Finley ain't there to take it out his hand.
Oh, was that Michael? I was wondering who that was. That took it. That was Mike. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That was that day. That clip is
like,
funny.
you ain't won yet, man. Get that beer.
My man was in the hallway celebrating, boy.
Chilling, right?
Nothing.
Yeah. All right.
He was so distraught after he knocked that beer out of his hand. Like, damn, man. Right. He's carrying it back to the 80s, when they were drinking
like
at
he had to
halftime.
go pay for another one. Come on, man. He was sending somebody to go bring that. Or knowing Luka, he probably had a 6-pack in the locker. All right. So we talked about Klay Thompson moving on from Golden State. So the Splash Brothers are no more. However, they did what they could. I know, right? It's crazy. They did what they could in terms of, well, you can never replace Klay, but they brought in another guy who is another, what do we want to call him? A hired gun, a guy who can let that thing go. So they got Buddy Hield added to the mix, and that is a guy that knows how to move without the ball. That is a guy who knows how to shoot it. What are you guys' thoughts on Buddy Hield being Klay Thompson light in Golden State? Obviously, he's not a defender, but what are your thoughts?
I mean, you just pretty much took it away when you said Klay Thompson light. That's literally what he is. He's
right. And I'm sure Steve Kerr's going to tell him, don't try to be Klay, just be you. But they want him in that Klay Thompson role.
Buddy Hield's going to average 7 attempts a game from 3. He's going to have to air that thing out because the focal point is still going to be on Steph Curry. All right. On the defensive side, he doesn't play defense like that.
Bro.
You know what I mean? So I think he's going to have to fill in that, hey, okay, the Splash Brothers are going, but we could be Splash Cousins.
Right.
This
right.
is Splash Cousins.
Yeah.
And let that thing air out. You know what I mean? So I definitely see him averaging 7 a game. But you hit it without even knowing it. He's Klay Thompson light. That's pretty much what he is.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a pretty good pickup. He's not what he was a few years ago when I think the Lakers were trying to pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
He averaged
Well, they could have had him. They could have had him, but the GM said, "Nah, I'll try to stack the deck and grab another top 75."
That wasn't on the GM of LeBron.
No, who they pick over?
That was on the GM. That's what I said. The GM.
That was Rob.
Who they end up picking up over him?
You know good and damn well. You know good and damn well that wasn't on no Rob Pelinka.
That was on Rob.
Why you always caping up for your boy, man?
That was on Rob. Hey, no, I give LeBron. I am still mad about Russell Westbrook, LeBron James. Do you want me to say that?
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm still mad about Russell Westbrook.
That's what
LeBron
I'm talking
James.
about. Because remember, it was supposed to be Buddy Hield, and then LeBron said, "Nah, I want Westbrook. I want another top 75 guy, so I could try to grease the skids to another chip the easy way." Mm-hmm. And then when it didn't work out, he acted like he had nothing to do with it. And then in his passive-aggressive way in the media, he started, taking these shots and had everybody in the world taking shots at Westbrook. You know good and damn well that's what happened. Stop it.
I took shots at Westbrook the moment we got him.
Yeah, because your guy.
It was if I'm looking at something to talk about LeBron James in a negative way in his entire career, that was one of the dumbest moves, dumbest decisions he could have ever made. Ever made. Because I'm like, what was Westbrook supposed to do in that role? He's not a shooter. He's not a defender.
Oh my God.
He's ball dominant, but he's not athletic as he was anymore. What was supposed to be his role? It didn't make sense at all. Buddy Hield was everything right. that was needed in that position.
Right.
Shoot. That's it. That's all I need you to do. Shoot.
Yeah, but you could have had that, and your guy put the kibosh on that. So I'm not letting that go. No. I'm like Bumpy Knuckles right now. I'm like a pit with a leg in his mouth. I bring it home.
I'll take it.
You know what I'm saying? You got to. You can't argue that. You cannot argue that. All right.
Hopefully, Buddy Hield is going to be healthy this year too. I mean, he wasn't healthy the last couple of years.
No,
I think he was healthy. They just didn't play him like that in Philly.
No,
yeah, I think
he was healthy in the playoffs.
Let's see how many weeks he got. And I think you're right because I totally forgot that he was in Philly until I was researching.
Until he got traded. That's what I found out. I think he played like the last game of the playoffs. I think he played like the last game.
Say again.
So he started 14 games last year.
Yeah. Looks like.
But he only played 32.
He averaged 12 a game last year. Damn. That's tough.
That's what's so weird. I
don't know what that's about.
That one was weird, man.
Okay, so I guess it was injuries. He only played 32, but I wonder how much of that is injuries and how much of that is like DNPs.
Oh, he slept with the GM's wife or something. Man, who knows?
Oh, I hope not. 3 years ago, he was averaging 17 a game, so we know he can do it. Yeah. And I think we know that he's going to get his opportunities in Golden State. So we're going to see what that is.
You know what? We're not. Mm-hmm. We're not adding in. He was with the Pacers too. That's why you're looking at it.
Okay. Oh wow. So he played 52 games. So he played 82 games last year.
You're right.
Games with the Pacers.
You're right.
32 games with the Sixers. Okay.
That's why. So he wasn't hurt.
He didn't miss a game.
There was never an injury. He just he got a lot of DNPs towards the end of the season.
So, but look at this though. He averaged what? About 26 minutes a game and averaged 12 points. Like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was that a point every 2 minutes roughly?
Yeah, shot 38% from three.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
not bad.
I don't get it, man. I really don't.
And I tell you what, he's going to get plenty of space and plenty of open looks playing in that Golden State offense. So, again, nobody's expecting him to be Klay Thompson or reincarnation of the Splash Brothers, but I think it's a good fit for a guy with his specific skill set. They're going to need to find a way to probably cover him on defense, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's see. Any other big moves y'all want to discuss? Or let's go ahead and open up the phone line.
I think you pretty much hit them all. The major ones, that is. The major ones, that is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I said, Laurie Marketing is still on the market. So
that's right. I forgot about that. I'm
still waiting to see if Golden State can seal that deal because that would definitely change him and put him back in contention at least.
Ooh, Laurie Marketing, another sniper. Wow.
Yes.
Size 2. Oh, that'd be
What do y'all think is going to end up happening with Brandon Ingram?
That's interesting. We forgot the Pelicans. The Pelicans, didn't they pick up somebody recently last week?
Not sure. I don't remember.
From Atlanta. What's it? DeJounte Murray.
Oh, they sure did.
Yes,
DeJounte
Murray. Yes, I forgot about that one. That was another one.
Last name. What's up, last name? You're also new. I haven't seen you here before. Make sure you go ahead and click that like and that subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, on the channel. I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping.
Like it on both. Like it on both.
There you
share
go.
It on both.
Like it on both. Yeah, share it. Lori going to Golden State. That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
That'll be good, lad.
And another sniper.
And Zach LaVine too. He still got to find a home. I don't think the Bulls are going to keep him.
I don't think anybody wants to pay him.
The Bulls are trying. Nobody wants him.
Yeah.
Nobody wants it.
He's making a lot of money and putting up numbers, but he's not a difference maker at all.
And he's injury prone.
Man down. Appreciate you, last name. That's what's up. You're supposed to be talking about these two that make them lost the game. A courageous one. Explain that in the chat for me. Not really following that comment.
About these two that make them lost the game.
Yeah, they got Murray for a can of pop. Yeah, I thought that was strange. DeJounte Murray and what's my man name? Trae Young. That was a really good backcourt in Atlanta. Obviously, it wasn't a winning backcourt, but it was a very good backcourt. Not sure why that didn't work out better, but we'll see. Bulls will pay a team to take him. Okay. DeJounte Murray and that's not a bad fit at all. But I think the Pelicans are so up in the air, man. They have good coaching, but who knows what they're gonna end up doing, because obviously they paid Zion, but Zion, I think we know, doesn't really want to be there. He's just trying to rehabilitate his image with everything that went on over the last couple of years.
He's trying to he
was having that fun off the court.
Man, yes, he was.
he's not trying to rehabilitate. He's trying to reheat his food. That's what he's trying to do.
Oh my God! Well, look, what he played 70-something games last year, I think. So
he play that many?
He was in better shape, I believe. He did. Let's see.
He also was a player for 72 of those games with other women too.
Oh, here you go.
70. Well, he played 70. Yeah,
there you go. So and he had a solid year. But look at that: 23 points and 6 rebounds. That's what pisses me off. You are a physical specimen like that who does not want to rebound. What is wrong with you? If I was his coach, I would. Well, I guess in the modern NBA, you can't even go hard like that. But I would be kicking his butt.
But they have length, though. You have Valanciunas, you had Ingram. I mean, you have a lot of length over there that can get you rebounds.
No. There's no reason Zion should not be on the glass more. I can't rep for that. I'm sorry. No rebounds, no ring. I come from the
7 rebounds at the most, I think.
Yeah, he's never been that type of player.
But there's no reason that he shouldn't be with the gifts that he has and the body that he has. There's no reason he shouldn't be. Right?
Yeah, he's Oliver Miller with hops.
I think the man can touch the top of the back.
Anything like him. Look at what Barkley was doing, right? Barkley was way better than him, but they will tell you that we've never seen anything like Zion. Why Zion can't say, you know what, I want to model my game after Charles Barkley? Why he can't do that? You tell me. No reason Zion shouldn't be a 24-12 guy, especially in a league where there are so many rebounds to be had. No reason whatsoever. I can't see it.
But like to Big Red's point, you're worried about something off the court. Charles Barkley was a head knows, hey, I'm in the paint, I'm working on my game. You know what I mean? Like, real cutthroat type of attitude. Zion is not that type of guy. He's not the one that's I'm trying to bang with y'all. Nah, but if I'm gonna jump over y'all, get this block, that's what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? So
could be
different type of personality.
Yeah. You remember what Rocky Trainer said? He said, do not sleep with Adrian because women weaken legs.
He did say that.
Yeah.
When you got scores of women coming after you, you got no legs. Yeah. I also kind of think too, which is probably the same issue somewhat with Anthony Davis. He played a good amount of games this year. I give him credit for that.
Yeah, he played 70.
He doesn't want to play center because he doesn't want to bang with the big bodies, which is a detriment to his body. Same thing with Embiid. Embiid likes to take a lot of outside shots because he doesn't want to bang with the big boys and get hurt a lot. And I think Zion probably is falling in the same trail because he is injury prone. He doesn't want to deal all the time down low. He'll score down there, but he doesn't want to get the rebounds because he's trying to preserve his body.
But when you look at a guy like Embiid, he even though he doesn't play down there enough, he's still, for this era, a dominant rebounder. There's not many legitimate bigs, and nobody can defend this dude when he gets on the block. So I don't understand like why. Man, if I'm Embiid, I am destroying this league on the block. I will be leading the league in and ones. I'll be killing everybody because nobody in the modern NBA can defend this dude. Yeah. He's a killer.
And he also be averaging 20 games a season because his boy gonna be hurt all the time.
Or that.
Averaging 20 games a season.
That's a fact. That's a fact. All right, let's do this before we move on to the Bronny James topic and the Lakers. I know everybody wants to talk about that, but let's open up the phone lines real quick. You see the number there on the bottom, 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. Go ahead, give us a call if you have any thoughts on the movement in the NBA by some of these big name players and what you think of how the league is going to look next year. And also, if you Mike Miller been waiting for this Bronny James topic. But anyway, also if there's any movement that you think is going to be key in terms of changing the NBA next season that we didn't mention, go ahead, give us a call. 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. Let's get it. Maximus, you're exactly right, and that's the same thing that Big Red and Transformer were saying. Embiid wants to he would kill it down low, but he don't want to bang because he gets hurt too much.
He's a pretty decent shooter. I mean, he's a pretty good shooter. I mean, I don't blame him.
He is, but
shoot the rock at 7 foot. I mean,
all that's great, but guess what? If nobody can defend me on the block, I'm getting that. I'm scoring there. I'm banging on your head, or I'm hitting you with all them. What's the point of him learning all them Olajuwon type post moves if he don't want to spend the time down there to utilize them, right? So I could be getting those if I'm Embiid and getting a ton of and ones, right?
I mean, he does get the free throw line a lot.
He does, but he could get there more
last year before he got hurt.
Yeah, but you know why? Because he's always falling down, flopping everywhere.
That too.
That's another problem.
He does do that a lot.
Yeah, Nino, what's good?
Nino, what's good?
Thank you for the super chat, my G. Salute to all LBJ haters. Nino, this is how you coming in? You coming in tired. Just wait. Just wait.
Jack.
199. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother. Nino came in with the heat. What is that? Oh my goodness. Slow-mo to the Warriors is a game changer. Slow-mo, are we talking about Buddy Hield or are we talking about possibility of Laurie Markin and Maximus? Let me know.
And do they call him slow-mo? Because that's the first time I ever heard of
him. Yeah. Who are you referring to when you say slow-mo to the Warriors? Man, Nino came guns blazing. He came for us, bro. But that's all right. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Hold on. I got to
Kyle Anderson. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
Kyle Anderson. That makes sense. I get the pun now. Mm-hmm, I was like, man, who the hell is slow-mo?
Right. All right. So I guess it's time to go ahead and get to it, man, because we're not getting any calls on this NBA topic. So
I'm gonna look that up. No, he said it's his nickname. So I'm gonna look into that. Go ahead, proceed. I'm handling.
I got you. All right, let's do it. So, biggest story in the NBA right now, maybe not one of the biggest stories in sports. Biggest story in the NBA right now, obviously, is the clown show that is the Los Angeles Lakers, and obviously the biggest, the biggest personality in said clown show is LeBron James, because there's two of them. So whether it's LeBron James or LeBron James Jr., one of them is going to be the ringmaster in this foolishness. I guess it's LeBron James Sr., right? By the way, you know how in the NFL these dudes have like junior and senior on their jersey? Are they going to do that? Junior and senior?
No,
I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that'd be a touch. Make Bron feel real old then.
Yeah, but that's what he wanted. This is what he wanted the whole time, right? Because everybody has sees him, they're going to have something else to say. Oh, James Sr., right? If they on the floor at the same time, You know, Kevin Harlan gonna be like, LeBron James Sr.
It's gonna sound very awkward.
It's gonna sound very awkward. But
they're gonna say something. LeBron James, he's a senior. He shouldn't even be able to score this way at his age.
You already know what it's gonna be. Damn.
Or if he has a bad
are
game.
they wrong?
If he has if he has a bad game, well, he's a senior. You can't expect him to do this every game.
Man, listen, I have never seen anybody who gets, the benefit of the doubt and everything in their favor, no matter what the situation is. It is incredible. All right, so you know what, Big B? I'm gonna let you start off with this, man. What are your thoughts on what we have seen so far? 2 games from Bronny James and what I believe is a fake knee injury because it's all about optics. But anyway, what are your thoughts on what we've seen so far from this guy and what's going on there in Los Angeles?
Kid, he gotta stop being timid. I see a lot of him being timid on the offensive side. I really didn't get to see too much of this night's game.
Thanks, Maximus.
On the scene, the jersey. Oh yeah, he does have the.
But we're probably gonna see James
Senior
and James Jr. Okay,
that would be dope. But yeah, like I said, I've from the previous game, I see him being timid a lot on his jump shot. I think he's just trying to slow roll his way in. I mean, I think the expectation is that everybody wants him to take 10 attempts to see what he's going to do.
Okay,
he's the 55th pick. Let's be realistic. I mean, when have you ever seen 55th, 56th, 57th pick just come in and just start airing it out and just testing it out like that? You know what I mean?
Well, when have you seen the 55th pick get this much attention? So
because his father is LeBron James,
and you can't have it both ways. What are you talking about? You can't have it both ways then.
Okay, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the game, right?
The
question was about the game, right? Y'all can get into your whole soliloquy about how he's the 55th pick, but he's being the most dramatic. Talk about that later, all right? Talk about the game. He's very, very timid, all right? What I see a lot of him is he's going to have to learn how to be himself and ignore all the noise and just play this type of game.
He can't, and his father did him a disservice. He can't. He can't be himself unless he's on another team.
You got to find a way to be your own man somehow.
I don't think he can.
Find a way to be your own man somehow.
Nah, man. I don't think he can. Not in this situation.
He can because his dad's not going to trade him.
Well, you never know. His dad to trade anybody. We seen that.
Well, he said Bronny James don't care about the criticism, which I know is BS, because every player worth their medal cares about criticism.
And I mean, I know he was asked the question, but why is he talking for Bronny? Even if McMenamin asked me the question and I'm LeBron, I'm like, listen,
son, I got this.
Bronny is my son, and he's his own man. You're gonna have to direct that question.
Yeah, I respect.
I can't speak for him.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah, man, stop it. We know what this is.
Papa, can I say something, Papa?
That video was funny.
You saw that?
Yeah. When Michael Jordan invited him to the club. Yo, somebody said something interesting. One of these videos I watched today, can't remember what it was. I wanted to give him the shout, but the point was, because I guess somebody asked him, Bronny, him being Bronny, who is the GOAT, and of course, what do they expect him to say, right? Do they expect him to say it's my, like, he got to say it's his dad. He says his dad's better than Mike and Kobe. Cool.
Paul George.
Right. I know, right? But if that's the case, they were asking, why is it every time you see Bronny, he got Jordans on? I'm like, that's a pretty simple one there. Like, if I'm LeBron, I'd be like, no Jordans in my house. What up, G? I see you back, man. Where are you? So far, we've seen Bronny have, what did he have? 4 points in the first game, 3 points tonight. What are your thoughts, G?
He's the highest paid mascot in NBA history.
Oh, wow.
I think as it stands right now, he's slated to go to the G League, right? I think that's,
which surprised me.
Inevitable.
Remember, I said that LeBron wouldn't let that happen. Yeah. I'm shocked by that.
He's a really good storyline.
Yes.
And like in all off seasons, right? It's all about buzz. NBA was over last month, and we still talking about basketball. So much like anything else, he's just
Let me interrupt you real quick, G. My bad. I just seen on my phone ESPN popped up with a little joint said, Bronny gets cooked. Heats Alondas Williams puts Bronny in spin cycle before dropping wild floater through contact. Damn, I can't wait to see that one.
I mean, it's going to be a lot of that, right? But however, like, what happens for the LeBron James brand if his son doesn't get picked? He enters the draft and he doesn't get picked, right? Like, that's a whole nother storyline. And so at least we get to see, you know, the more superior athletes take advantage of, you know, the nepotism or whatever they call it, right? Like, that extension of his father, that was definitely a package deal for him and JJ Redick. And if nothing else, it's a good storyline, but that's all it is right now. I would like to see him have more output. Right? I would like to see him do a little bit better because, you know, demise of a young kid, especially with his confidence level, you know, and it's probably in the trash right now because he's trash.
I'm pretty sure it is.
You play this sport and you already know from jump, right? Hey, look, this dude averaged 4 points in USC. So, you know, a rookie would come in and take his spot. And I think that's what was going to happen next year. And so that's why they probably there was this crazy push to put him in the NBA, move him to the G League because, you know, man, there's some dogs in the league and they waiting to take your lunch. I always say that. They ready to take your lunch. And so I don't think we may not even see another time that he suit up in the Lakers basketball court as a basketball player. He might be the 12th man on the bench, but you're not going to put him in prime minutes when you need it.
No, you're not. But you know, for the show and for the money, they're going to have to get them two on the floor at the same time for the photo ops.
In garbage time.
Yeah.
Garbage time. That's the only way he getting
garbage time. Exactly.
I'm talking down 30, up 30. So that's it.
You think that's what it is?
But at the same time,
he might get in quick early for a couple minutes, do a little something, then the next stoppage of play, TV timeout or whatever, they get him right back out.
Nah.
I don't see it happen.
At that point, like,
it's not that type of league.
Yeah.
It's not that type of league where you can put them in a game for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, you down 30. So garbage time is the only time.
I don't know.
Garbage time is the only time he'll be able to.
I don't know, man. I don't.
Garbage time
Maximus, I think I kind of lean towards Maximus here because believe me, they are going to, the Lakers being they, are going to try to sell this thing as be a part of history. Come see the first father and son duo, and it happened here in Staples with this franchise. I think that is going to happen a lot sooner than you think, G. I don't believe.
And the starting lineup, he's going to start the first game.
Hey, man.
No way, bro.
I agree with G, but no way. I wouldn't be shocked if it happened, but more likely I think he would have to come in during garbage time.
That's the only way he's getting the game.
Only because of optics, because they're trying to keep passing this thing that is not nepotism, that he earned his way to the starting lineup, and they know ratings too. That's the only reason.
Yeah. Everybody knows better than that. So I was listening to Pros and a Cup of Joe today, and that's a show on Fox Sports 1 with was it Jonas Knox, Brady Quinn, and LeVar Arrington, and they had some pretty interesting things to say. Let's check this out, and we'll come back and talk about it.
And now Bronny James has got a swollen knee and was kept out of the second NBA Summer League game. And then he had, LeVar was blown away with his 2 for 9 shooting in his first Summer League game.
No, that was Q. Q was blown away. Yeah. He looked amazing out there in text chat.
I was being sarcastic.
Okay, I didn't know because you never responded back. I was like, are you being serious? Or
I watched it. He struggled, which... That's nothing new if you've seen his game. But look, he's a young player. He's got time to develop. He needs to be out there playing, though. It's tough when you're not healthy. You can't be out there getting better. But he was exactly what he was defined to be as a prospect. He struggles shooting. I mean, he couldn't even make a couple free throws. But you saw, the way, at least athletically, how he can attack, how he'll try to play defense. The problem is, the more time we see him, especially in, defensively speaking, he's going to struggle. Like, he's going to struggle being able to switch on screens because he can't match up with guys who are going to be 7, 8, 9, 10 inches taller than him. And that's unfortunately the position that he's going to be in often, being, 6'1.5" or whatever he was at the NBA Combine.
So that was the first commentary, and I thought a lot of that was fair. Here's one more, and then we'll come back.
when you put in Danny Hurley, you put in all the other options that were out there and potentially available for them to try and acquire this offseason, and all have chosen, whether it was Klay Thompson wanted to go to Dallas, there was the old, the state income tax and, Texas compared to California. Oh, okay. So what was the DeMar DeRozan excuse? Because he's playing in Sacramento. And if you would have told Laker fans
California
if you would have told Laker fans years ago that, and again, it was a sign and trade and all that, but I feel like that would be something potentially that the Lakers would want to pull off, because we've been hearing about DeMar DeRozan potentially being a Laker for a long time because he's from out here. And I think he was on stage with Kendrick Lamar, and so people thought, well, does that mean he's coming back home? And are they trying to work behind the scenes? And he ends up in Sacramento on a 3-year deal and not with LeBron and the Lakers. I look at it and I go, it feels like a lot of teams around the NBA got better. It feels like Minnesota took a big step last year. Denver is going to be back, and they're going to bounce back. And neither one of those teams were in the finals. Dallas was. They got better, but not the Lakers.
Here's a trivia question. Here's a trivia question for you. Who's the most high-profile signing that the Lakers have had this offseason?
Bronny James.
Bam. That's deep.
Yeah.
I mean, when you put it in that manner, in that frame.
I mean, if we're going to be honest.
Bronny James is the highest profile signing that the Lakers had this year.
Look, and if we're going to be honest about it, what is the most talked about acquisition this entire NBA offseason?
Bronny James.
100%. So
the 55th pick
right.
has been the most talked about draft pick, period. And, not even close.
And look, we discussed earlier, Jerry Jones and the greatness of Jerry Jones. The Cowboys are always a talking point, even when they're mediocre.
That's the brilliance of it.
I'm telling you.
You got to give LeBron James
you have to.
some credit, because he's brilliant.
You have to, yes. You have to.
I mean, even if it means his kids, they going to be in the headlines now. I mean, it's amazing marketing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really is.
I don't. It's just. And
I'm not even saying that to be a wise ass. It legitimately is the biggest storyline this NBA offseason.
Man,
what did I say?
Shout out to Big Red. Shout outs to the Last Rewind podcast, because you were right on point with that Cowboys analogy. Real quick, y'all, if you're in the chat, appreciate you. I see 52 people in here. Thanks so much for being in here. Make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, and that share button on YouTube. We need to get those likes up. It helps spread the show to more people. Really need y'all to hit that for me. Thank you so much. All right, yeah, shouts Big Red, because you were right on point with that, and I really hadn't even thought about it. So Nino asks, who is focusing everybody to talk about Bronny? So
Nino.
We discussed the topics beforehand, and realistically, Nino, this is a sports talk show, right? And one of the biggest stories in sports right now is Bronny James Jr., right? Or LeBron James Jr., aka Bronny. So you got to talk about that, because this is what people want to hear about. Before you came in the chat, we were on another topic, and people were just waiting for us to get to the Bronny thing. So, got to give the people what they want, right? That's what Jalen Rose always used to say. So we're doing that. We're talking this Bronny thing. It's a thing. I know it hurts you, Nino, because you're a LeBron guy, but we got to do it. And realistically, if you want to keep it real, Nino, freaking LeBron James Sr., he's the one that put his son in this spot. So let's be real. He put his son in this spot, not us. We would rather not be talking about Bronny. And we would rather not be talking about.
We're going to talk about Bronny regardless.
Right.
I don't care what. And I know what you're talking about. You want to talk about how LeBron said, "Oh, he's better than some of these cats up in the league." I'm not talking about that. If LeBron James sneezes wrong in the offseason, what is the first thing on ESPN? LeBron James.
Right.
The thing is everybody's focused on Bronny James because of LeBron James. You know what I mean?
LeBron asked for that, though.
His aura is so high. No matter what LeBron does, it is the most talked about thing. Like I said, if he sneezes wrong, it's in the tabloids. We're gonna talk about it because
transform. You're being disingenuous, though, bro.
No, I'm not. But hear me out. Let me let you talk. We had a conversation the other week, right? About how LeBron, like everything, even though LeBron James was eliminated out of the playoffs 2 months ago. LeBron James was a topic on every talk show every single day until today.
Why do you think that is, Transform? Why do you think that is? What
He's
you mean why? Because he wants to be. Because he wants to be. He can't just go sit somewhere quietly.
Okay.
He wants
he
that
wants
attention.
to be.
He's
So
an attention whore, bro.
What did we expect was going to happen to Bronny when he got in the league? His name is LeBron James Jr.
But that's what we're saying. LeBron is the one that created this situation,
exactly.
bro. LeBron did this, so nobody can get mad when we talk about Bronny when he got put in this situation by his father.
No, I'm not mad at that point. I'm mad at everybody's like, well, why is he the most talked about? Are you freaking serious? Are you dumb? That his name is LeBron James Jr.?
No, I got you.
I don't like that. Like everybody's like, what did he do to deserve this spotlight? Oh, he's the number one.
Right.
He's in the spot. Duh.
Right.
Are you shocked? If the man sneezes wrong, you're talking about it in ESPN.
Right.
Right. What do you think? The man's name is LeBron James Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Of course he's going to be the most talked about thing in the NBA.
Absolutely.
In this, like, I hate that, man. Everybody needs to slow their roll.
But with that being said, if he knows he's going to be the most talked about person, you know, if he sneezes or if he trips over a leaf or whatever, then don't put your son in a situation where he can be potentially embarrassed. Let him go through the reins like everyone else.
Regardless.
But if he didn't get drafted, it's bad. If he had this talk about nepotism, if he let him go through USC or any other college, play 3 to 4 years, and go through the draft without some inner workings or out workings behind the closed scenes with the Lakers and the NBA, we wouldn't be talking about this. We'd be talking like, okay, let's see what he really can can do.
Negative.
We still gonna talk about him, but we would not talk about him the same way.
Something Bronny would still be. It will just change. It's like the highest profile.
I agree.
The highest profile second round pick ever. If he goes undrafted, the highest profile undrafted player ever. It was going to happen regardless whether he was drafted, undrafted.
I agree.
No matter. It was going to happen.
But it wouldn't be like
this.
The Lakers are a circus. LeBron James is the ringmaster, and he got Bronny in the middle with the spotlight on him. You know that, and I know that.
Spotlight was coming regardless.
But it wasn't going to be like this. Gee, I see you there. Where you at?
No, because it would have been, his son's so good. Why didn't he go get drafted? He's undrafted. Now let's see what LeBron James has. It's going to be a conversation in the tabloid.
Different conversation, though. I agree with you on that.
My thing is, it's going to be talked about, right?
Yeah, I agree with you.
But not
we're talking about the negative that we're talking about right now with Bronny James would have been different if he played college like he was supposed to play and then get drafted like he was supposed to get drafted.
I agree with that.
We will talk about him. I agree with you.
Was he rushed to the league? Absolutely. Was it because of his daddy? Absolutely. But let's not act like from the segment that you just showed. He seemed shocked like, hey, man, what was the highest profile thing in the offseason? Are you serious? It's going to be Bronny James. He could have went undrafted. He was still going to be the most high profile.
What they're saying is that's the absurdity of it, that the 55th pick is the highest profile draft, the highest profile personnel move that the Los Angeles Lakers were able to make. That's
so now you got the biggest market in the NBA on top of the biggest face in NBA history as far as the marketability wise. Are you serious? He was going to be talked about.
We're not even going. That was an absurd statement. We're not even going to do that. Nah. Go ahead, G. What you got, man?
Could be one of those things where it's internal to the family, right? Like, you know, once a kid reaches a certain age, he want to be, you know, the king dingling in the house, right? You want to be, you know, hey, you want to walk in my shoes? This is what it's like to walk in my shoes, right? It could have been one of those things where he was going at his dad every day. And his father was like, you know what? I'm going to put you in a situation so you can understand who I really am, right? The flip side of it is there's a lot of guards in this league that will trash him. There's a lot of players who never got the opportunity, to play the game of basketball at this level. And he's seeing it firsthand in the summer league, bro. Like, we're not even talking like regular season. We're talking summer league. This is practice.
Yeah,
this is essentially practice, right? Like,
you talk about practice, man.
Yeah, he just doesn't add up to a professional NBA player, and that's just it. This circus that we have of, you know, what I mean, the media latching onto the story is only because of his dad, If his dad wasn't who he is, then we wouldn't even know about a Bronny James, right? He wouldn't even be here.
That's more to my point.
He would not be here. And it's sad, right? It does his son a disservice. I'm just saying the same thing that everybody's saying right now.
Yeah.
Everybody feels the same way. Like, yo, this dude doesn't belong here. He didn't pay his dues. He got in the league on the strength of his dad. And now that he's in the league, we see this piss poor performance night in and night out, right? Mm-hmm. Now we're starting to see, there's some injury issues there. All right, now we saying
I don't even believe the injury thing. I think they try to hide him because the first outing was bad. Absolutely. So they try to hide him.
Absolutely, we've seen that before. Yeah, we've seen that before. We want him to have an easy road all the way into the regular season.
That's right.
We want to see him have the easiest road possible into the regular season so that we can say, man, it's a show. But right now, it backfired on the Lakers. It really backfired on the Lakers, and now they like, wow, this guy the fans not even showing up.
It'd be cool. I'd almost be okay with it if they would just admit that it was just nepotism. JJ Redick doing the press conference and say, he earned this. You didn't. You earned this. You're not just getting an opportunity just because. If he just said it, just don't lie to me. Don't lie to my face. Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining.
That's where I was going with that. Absolutely.
This is why I'm upset as a Laker fan. This is why I look at that thing, man.
She mad too. Look at what she's saying, and it makes a lot of sense. And it's funny. Look how much they work narratives. How LeBron's team works tirelessly to push false narratives. Because what did we keep hearing? That if anything, Bronny is an outstanding defender. We kept hearing that, right?
Yeah.
2 games already, and we seeing this dude consistently get done up by
two blocks tonight,
who
probably won't even make NBA rosters, and he getting done up. Come on,
I looked at that second game, and it looks like.
By the way,
it looks. I looked at that second game, and legitimately, it looks like he barely played high school. When it comes to certain offensive plays and defensive plays, where he just didn't seem to know where the gap was, or seem to know when to go to the basket. Or he didn't know how to stop a pick and roll, or how to stop the center to go from the center and scoring. He just didn't seem to know what place he was supposed to be. It's like he was just playing pickup ball, and he'd never played organized ball.
I have Carmelo Anthony's son barbecue on him.
Oh. Yeah,
I got him.
I have Bryce cooking them.
Yeah.
I got him barbecue.
Bryce is nice.
Everybody knows that Bryce is the litter. Everybody knows that Bryce
is the runt of the litter, yo.
I'm glad y'all brought Bryce up. Do y'all think LeBron's gonna stay around long enough for Bryce to get in the league?
Well, he got about 2 more years ago.
He would. Yeah, he got 2 more years. If he can, he would. And you know why? You know why? Because not just it would be awesome to play long enough that both of my sons are in the league. It's not that. It's because if he could stay that long, that's him racking up meaningless stats to further push it out there so he can continue with this nonsensical, farcical GOAT debate where he doesn't belong. That's what that is.
I see what I see, just to answer your question, bro. What I see is I don't think he stays in long enough because at some point he's gonna turn into a pissing pole, and all these young dudes that's coming down the lane is gonna dunk on LeBron James over and over and over again because Father Time, it hits everybody, right? He may still be able to put up 20 points, but I think he's gonna get caught slipping, man, and that's he won't be able to be in the league long enough to see his young bull play in the league, man. Like, so from that standpoint, like, I'm enjoying this time that he's overextending his stay because I know at any moment he's gonna be in a poster. And that was hard to get. It was hard to catch him slipping because he was so athletic. But when you overstay your welcome and you overstay your time and you have a name such as LeBron James and you're doing things like putting your son in the game when there's other players that really should be there, it's
people been putting him on posters for years. Matter of fact, Bruce, your boy, put him on a poster.
Tatum. He sure did. That's a rookie. Matter of fact, I think Tatum was a rookie.
I think it was the second year. I thought it was the second year. I think it was the second year.
When Kyrie was hurt in the Eastern Conference Finals, Tatum dunked on him. He
banged on him.
He been getting banged on already.
I'm not talking about these flash in the pans getting dunked on. I'm talking about
you're talking about
every night he suit up and he start, right? Like every night he suit up and he start. It's just going to be an embarrassment to the point where he's like, all right, it's time to set down. We've seen this with all players that gets in the league that overstay their welcome, and I don't think it'll be the same.
Wow,
won't be any different for him.
Damn.
That's cold, bro.
I've heard.
I'm not
conspiracy theories about
even gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna dive in that right there.
Yeah, I'm not going there at all. Hey, listen up, everybody. Love that you're in here. Love that you're active in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Want to make sure that you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, and that share. Share it, like it, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate all that. It helps this video and this channel get out to more people. We do this here. This is not a joke. All right, so check this out. Next up, I want to hear. So I've got some comments from Kwami Brown, who always has very interesting things to say. And so I was prepping for this show today, and I loved Kwami Brown's commentary on this whole situation. So let's check this out, and then we'll get back. I thought this was very good. Check it out.
Bronny James Jr. did not play the second game. And I'm a little bit torn by that. He's 19 years old, and you're already load managing this kid. He has a sore knee. So, is it injured or is it sore? Because if he's going to be able to play in one day, what's the difference between him playing in this last game that he missed? So all of a sudden, the swelling is going to be out of it and he's going to be good? Man, the disaster already started. Boy, Lord have mercy. This is the coddling. That's what I'm telling you. Stars are not born. They are created. Homelander Jr., this is a script from Homelander. I'm telling you. I'm the first one who said it. LeBron James is Homelander. Bronny James Jr. is Homelander Jr. And they writing this script. You remember how they had Homelander Jr. fake and go out there and it was scripting, throwing this dude and grabbing his arm with the telling the girl that she was going to be okay? That's what they got Bronny doing. And everybody keeps saying, oh, man, it's just one game. You can't judge it off one game. You're right. It's a preseason game. But all I'm saying is this is the same old Bronny that we're used to seeing. A timid guy who's passing the ball, who's just trying to fit in. Your daddy is named LeBron. I would love to see this kid go out being aggressive, shooting the ball every time. If he misses it, so what? You're being groomed to be King James Jr., boy. You can't be out there taking 9 shots. You got to groom yourself into being that guy. They're missing the whole point that people are making. If LeBron James is going to say that this guy is better than... He knew that boy had heart problems before that. After the heart problem, he still said Bronny James can play right now for the Lakers. So with that being said, now that he plays for the Lakers, let's let him play for the Lakers. He needs to be his butt out there on the court, and he need to be going out there carrying the threat. Straight up and down. All these excuses. I'm hearing all the people now, y'all trying to take down a black man. Well, you know what? What color was the coach, Darvin Ham, that got fired? And the last time I checked, I'm black as they come. And Bronny got drafted the same age I got drafted. So how in the hell all of a sudden everybody understands how to be polite? If that's the case, ESPN and First Take owe me an open apology. If all of a sudden now we got to not call a kid a bus, all of a sudden now we got to wait on them to mature, all of a sudden we tearing down a black man now, huh? So I must be white. Yeah, I must have been a white man this whole time. I didn't know. Thanks for telling me. Because we damn sure got picks on who is royalty black and who is scum of the earth black. Because I swear to God, I'm one of the darkest motherfuckers you're going to see. And last time I checked, Anthony Bennett is black. Oliver Candy is black. I don't understand now. All these men that got to suffer up under this reign of LeBron James. But because he's black, he can't say nothing.
Hey. That boy went in.
Kwami tells you.
That boy went in.
I got another clip too, a little shorter one, but we'll get to that. But he told it though, right? Yeah. You know.
Tell me when I'm telling lies. Because they gave Kwami the business. They did give Kwami the business.
They did, but guess what? What lie did he tell just now? No lies, right?
No.
I heard none.
He told none.
Yeah, he let him have it.
I saw one of your comments, man. Listen, die-hard Laker, been there before LeBron got in the league. Hear me out. I am defending the talk about why he's in the spotlight as far as Bronny James. I don't think he deserved to be there. I don't think he earned the right to be there. He got there because of his daddy. So before you start questioning who a real Laker fan, it's people in the comments and that's people that's gonna pop into this group that know who a real Laker fan is. I was there way before Bron got there. All right. So before you try to, question who the real Laker fan is, bro, watch the whole podcast and then say something. Yeah, you don't know me, bro. Die hard Laker Nation, Laker fan to die. You hear me? Before LeBron, after LeBron, I just defend my team. You know what I mean? I'm gonna talk crap for my team. Okay, if it's got something to do with my team, I'm going to defend it for some odd reason because I'm biased about my team.
I was about to say you can't defend them if they're wrong, though, bro. You can't do that.
I will admit times that they're wrong. I do admit times that they're wrong. I would jokingly try to swing my way to make it be like, you know what I mean? There's some good reasons in that, but that's the Laker fan to me, right? That's the Laker fan to me. But before you start questioning who a real Laker fan, bro, check your tone, G. Lakers since '96, B. Yeah, I mean, I can show you plethora of Laker jerseys, plethora of Laker posters, bruh. Go ahead, Bruce. What you got, bro?
Are you gonna get a Bronny jersey or a Bronny poster? Or just wondering, just asking.
Oh, absolutely, because it's gonna be worth something later.
Yeah, you know what?
It's gonna be worth something later.
What you got, G?
I said Bronny like Lil Kim on a poster.
Hey, the one with the legs open?
Okay.
Oh, that's terrible. Yo,
now I can't go look at that poster the same guy.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Okay, Miss Brenda.
He bought up Lil Kim. That's the only Lil Kim poster I can remember. Go ahead.
You were a Laker fan since before Magic got there. Damn, you was a Lakers fan when I was born. That's what's up. Okay, that's real. That's real. Okay.
Hey, Brenda, you got all right to do what you want to do, but I am this type of Laker fan that I'm gonna defend my freaking franchise. You understand me? Respect that. And Lakers fans for life. I appreciate you, Brenda. Laker fan to die. Laker Nation to die. Go ahead, Bruce. Talk to him.
Hard time. Hey, bro, it's hard times for a Lakers fan. I don't have a team.
Oh, it's hard, bro.
I admire your loyalty, bro. I admire your loyalty.
I'm hurting. I got a coach who's never coached more than a fourth grade. I'm stressed, bro. I'm stressed.
Yeah, you heard.
LeBron James is 40 and he's getting $50 million a year. I'm stressed. Okay, so I'm gonna talk my crap about my Lakers. All right, so respect it.
That's a fact. Oh man, you know what? I like Miss Brenda because she is a like you diehard Lakers fan, but she keep it at 100. She's not down with this clown show that y'all seeing, man. She's not down with it, and I love it.
Hey, if Brenda is a real Laker fan, she's seen the clown show before LeBron. Trust me, she has.
Not like this though. I've been
this
watching.
This is more high profile. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it like we've seen the Lakers have some down years, but we've never seen
Ball and Randall years.
This is insane.
Mozgov, Luol Deng.
But at least those Lonzo Ball and Randall years were like trying to rebuild through the way most teams have to do sometimes. Yeah. So like, I can deal with that. All right, but so Kwami Brown has another comment that he made in this same soliloquy. I rather enjoyed it. I gotta say, I love listening to this guy. He's great.
Got everything given to you. They're giving you the keys. They're giving you the ball. What the hell are you gonna do? The Lakers have become a joke, and it's sad with the Lakers having that much history. DeMar DeRozan didn't even want to go home. You know it's some bullshit how bad DeMar DeRozan want to play for the Lakers, and he didn't even want to deal with that. Do I think Bronny believes he's a legit NBA player? No, because he should want to get that back from the other game. So what? Everybody's sore at this point. He's not injured. If he can play on Wednesday, if he can play that following game, he's not injured. He's sore. And he's 19 years old. You don't rest and load manage no 19-year-old. You get him used to that soreness. This is the first time he's been this sore. This is the first time he's going through a grueling mini camp. He ain't even gone through training camp yet. So you let him get used to that sore. You know what I mean? It's called pain deposits. He got to get used to that. He got to get used to that. You don't load manage him like he is daddy. He's 19 years old. You go out there, give me some quality minutes, and you learn. In whatever game you in, this is supposed to be his learning experience. It ain't about his numbers. They saw him got his busted, and they saw everybody was talking about it, and I think they got scared. They want a perfect Bronny every night. What happened? Let's just say his knee sore. Now they got a built-in excuse to pull him out and sit him down to the D League. I don't think it's a damn thing wrong with his knee. I can't think of one knee injury you can recover that fast from. Just a swollen knee, okay. How swollen? Does it need to be drained? Give him some Advil, he'll be all right. Put a brace on it, compression sleeve, get out there and run, young fella. That's how that works. But the fact that nobody wants to go to one of the most storied franchises should say it all. Y'all call LeBron James the GOAT. Y'all call him that everybody learn from him. He got the brightest mind in basketball, but don't nobody want to be around him, huh? See, these media narratives that y'all spin, people starting to reject that, man, because people can see.
Bringing the fire. Yo, I love this comment right here. Bron is the Galactus of the NBA. He devours teams that leave. I love that. I not even thought about it. That's fantastic. It's not that serious. What's up, my guy? Good to see you, bro. I like it's not that serious. He always bring it from an intellectual perspective. That's what's up. Good to see you here, man. Cam and May's take on Bronny. I'm trying to remember. I heard that maybe yesterday or today, but I can't remember exactly what it was. Fill us in.
So essentially what they were saying is, for 4 points, you already have a guaranteed contract. Mm-hmm. Let him go, right? Like he said, I'd rather see you have 25 points on 52 shots.
That's right.
3 for 9, right? Like you already got the money. There's no system. Just go out there and hoop.
You don't have to be part of the system. That's right.
Yeah, I don't think he ever had a situation where he was in an offense where they gave him 30 shots. Just point blank period. I don't think he's ever had that green light.
I don't think he's ever been good enough to have it.
Yeah, I don't think it's happened. And if I'm Bronny, right, at least one of these summer games, I'm emptying the clip. I'm empty. I don't care if I go for
just airing it out.
5 for 25, bro. Like, what I'm saying? You showing that, hey, look, the shot's just not dropping for me tonight, right? It's just not happening. But man, the kid just not qualified, man, to be in the position that he's in. His dad did him a disservice, throwing him in the fire like this, and you essentially just threw him to the wolves. And yeah, man, I think a year from now, 2 years from now, it's possibly we won't even be talking about Bronny anymore. So
I hope that's a good question. Where y'all think Bronny gonna be at in 2 to 3 years?
The front office.
You know what? Right, either in the front office or LeBron going to set him up to play with his brother.
That's a realistic one right there.
That's the one. That's what. L. Yeah, but that's what LeVar Ball had wanted. Remember, he wanted all 3 brothers to play together, but that wasn't going to work out. So, but
I think on Bryce's trajectory,
hold on a second, y'all. Hold on a second. Let's make sure we show some love and respect to Miss Brenda here. Coach for over 20 years and the cousin of the great Wayman Tisdale. God bless the dead. That's real right there. Miss Brenda, thank you for coming in and taking the time to join our chat and give your comments and all that. We appreciate that. So I definitely wanted to make sure that I specifically showed you some love when I saw that comment. So thank you. All right. Where were we?
Where Bronny's going to be
end up in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I don't even know, man. Real talk. I don't know. Probably not in the league anymore. Oh, by the way, if you're in the chat, please go ahead and make sure you click that like, that subscribe, and that share button on YouTube. Make sure you do that. Let's get this thing out here to as many people as we possibly can. We got over 60 people in the chat, but I only have 17 likes. I need that to get up.
Whoa. Everybody, stop what you're doing. It's very, very simple. Scroll over or just use your little finger. Go like this. Tap it. Like
there you go.
Easy day.
There you go.
Easy day.
However you watching, please hit that like button. Give me that thumbs up. I need it. All right, but where were we? Yeah, so 2 to 3 years. I think realistically, if Bronny is still even able to play in the league, LeBron is going to try to set it up so his boys could play together. That's what I think.
I wouldn't be shocked with that. I wasn't shocked we got him. Wasn't shocked at all. But I could definitely see that happening. But the thing is, Bryce, I have a higher trajectory. Everybody has a higher trajectory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bryce, you know what I mean? I think they're gonna try to snag Bryce.
Yeah.
Because he has the size.
He's like 6'7", right?
Yeah. He looks like he's going to be a more complete basketball player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think with that, ain't nobody feeling that boy go to 55th.
Nah, that's not going. He's going to be a first round pick. He don't get hurt, he'll be a first round pick.
Yeah.
If he shoots like that, he's going to alienate his whole team. That's a fact. But I think what they're saying is I think what Mason Cam and basically everybody is saying is, you LeBron James Jr., just do what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Because how much can anybody really come down on you? Just go out and be aggressive instead of being so timid. I think that's probably what it is. Edward, I like this. Realistically, Bronny James, the D3 basketball player. Real talk, I've seen and played against D3 basketball players that was better than him. That's no bull when I tell you that. Mm-hmm. When I lived in New York City, I played that. I didn't play for him, but I went to Hunter College, and I was always in the gym playing with and against the D3 ball players there. And I know there's a bunch of them that are.
So you know what it feels like to be Bronny.
I don't know what it feels like to be Bronny.
You know what it feels like to be Bronny? Get cooked.
No, well, listen, I ain't gonna lie and tell you that I never got cooked. I'm no superstar, but I can honestly say that back then, 20 plus years ago, I held my own playing against those guys.
Hey, I hear you.
So I can say that. But I ain't gonna sit out here and tell you I was some superstar. I ain't gonna lie to you. Oh yes, there were days when I got cooked. Hey, no shame. I'm a podcaster. I'm a journalist. You know, I'm not a ball player. You know.
Yeah, I think the sad thing is like I said before in previous podcasts, we got to watch Bronny grow up on the basketball court, and I thought, man, a kid with this amount of resources, right? Like when his time comes, he's going to be great, right? But this output that he's putting out here now, and it's like, man, we watched him grow up. So it's essentially like one of those hooping kids that you saw all around and get to the league, and it's like, who changed this game? You know what I mean? What happened? Like, but he just doesn't have a dog in him. You know, it's sometimes the dog and that chip on your shoulder, it comes from adversity, and he never had to fight for nothing. If he put out 10 points, nobody's saying anything, right? Like that's LeBron kid. He's
right,
the golden child in a sense, right? Like he's the golden child. But it's just sad to see, you know, him not dominating the league and the way that he should, given the resources he had throughout his entire life.
But I think that's part of it though, right? And I hear your point, because you know he always had the best trainers, he always had the best of everything, right? Because his pops had the money to facilitate that. But as you know, G, you know, growing up in B-More, coming from the hood, transform, you were in Memphis. Memphis got a lot of hoods. I used to live in Brooklyn, New York, got a lot of hoods. And playing in the hood and going through some of those things, it forges you in a different way than the kid who had everything, right? The hunger is different. Like you even heard LeBron when he was talking, he was being interviewed, and he was like, I had to make it. I had no choice, right?
Had to get his mom out of the
right. Bronny wants to make it. I truly believe he does. I'm sure he does. But he can never say, I had to make it. I had no choice. So it's different for somebody who's truly starving than for somebody who had.
It's a different feeling if you ain't never been broke.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling if you ain't never been broke.
I said Steph Curry did it for Dale Curry, though. You know, Dale Curry was very successful, and he put him in the best schools and the best homes to live in. And Steph Curry still had that hunger.
That's
kind of an anomaly.
But Dale also had to pull him up one day. Dale had to pull him up one day and say, "Hey, look, you ain't shooting no more threes. You're gonna start from inside the hoop and work your way out."
He sure did.
So it's you know what I mean? Maybe he just wasn't, you know, in those 82 games on the road, he wasn't there. And, you know what I mean? The coach just did him a disservice. I don't know, man. But, you know, you can clearly tell that the kid don't have a chip on his shoulder. And a lot of times that's what makes it break you, man.
Check out Peter Pumpkin Eater. He had all the resources, LBJ as a dad, all that money, and he still can't play. Oh, my goodness, yo. Going in. I
don't want to put them on the same level as Bronny James or even Steph Curry, but Lonzo,
Paul brothers,
LaMelo, they weren't exactly poor either. You know,
that's true.
I mean, they weren't rich, but they weren't poor either. They
no,
probably
right. That's what I was about to say. LeBron a damn billionaire. Like,
I think another aspect we missing out is if you look at history, right? All the major superstars. Kids never really turn out to be like that. It's the role players, the one that sat on the bench, witnessed the game, you know what I mean, had to really work hard to develop. And you can name all, like pretty much any player, Shaquille O'Neal's kids, Michael Jordan's kids, LeBron James' kids.
Right.
Like it's a little different, you know what I mean? That spotlight, those guys had that athleticism. They had things that those kids wasn't gifted with. You know what I mean? The Dale Currys and them, they sat on the bench. They had to really develop, like watch, witness, like learn the X's and O's about every single play, like really learn how to implement, like, okay, now I know what to give my son all of this information, because my son may not have that athleticism. He doesn't have that 5-star recruit mentality. He doesn't have that, okay, I'm the best in the league, you know what I mean, hovering over him. Hey, my dad was a role player, so guess what? I got to go prove something for my dad. You know what I mean? Go make it for my dad.
That's a great point.
When you're Shaq and you're Shaq's kid, you're like, man, Shaq is the most dominant player in NBA history in the paint. I got a lot to hold myself up to. Michael Jordan. Hey, my dad is the GOAT. I mean, shit, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to go show up and play like him? LeBron James Jr. Shit. You know what I mean? Like, so I think I'm seeing more of that pattern of the all-time greats, their kids having all the money, having all the resources. They just don't have that, you know what I mean, that athleticism, that exit, the true work that it comes from a role player that sat back and watched the game from the bench, watched the game from the sideline, wasn't really in the game, but had to learn and really, 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 really grind to stay on a team. Had to really, really, really grind to get signed again. Praying for that next contract, praying that I get picked up by somebody else. So I think that work ethic, they see that from them. You didn't have to see that work ethic from Jordan. Jordan had it. LeBron James has that athleticism. He has it. Shaq was the most dominant force in the league. He had that. You know what I mean? So I think that's also a factor that we tend to miss when it comes to the greats kids.
Yeah. I say Jelly Bean Bryant, Kobe's dad. You know, he wasn't a star. He was a role player. Yeah.
Role player.
Star in Europe.
Yeah. So I was watching the Shaquille O'Neal podcast where he talked about the comparison between Penny Hardaway versus Kobe Bryant, right? Yeah. And how, you know, it took Kobe 900 days to get to the point where he was that dog, right? Whereas Penny came in day one. Does Bronny have 900 days to develop himself as a premier basketball player? I don't think so, because his dad was one of those day one stars. But, you know, Kobe Bryant and his dad, who played in the league, he was given that same grace. You know, he shot like 7 air balls in a row during the clutch time of the game, and then that caused him to go into, you know, crazy mode. He looked at the game a little different, and so perhaps that's how LeBron is looking at this. You know, I throw him in the fire and see what he's worth, see what he got. I mean, you got to believe, and you got to breathe life in your kids. I understand that, but if you don't have it, man, it's going to be a sideshow. He's just going to be one of those kids that just
already a sideshow.
Trash, right? Not like us, right? Somebody put it in the chat today. Not like us, right? Yeah. So yes, it'll be interesting to see his journey, man. Like, of course, I want him to be great, but I just don't see it right now. And so, yeah.
That's a great point right here. My Life, Your Entertainment. You're absolutely right, because I think until Kemba Walker broke it, Del Curry was the all-time leading scorer in Charlotte Hornet history. So you're right. He was. I mean, of course,
he was there for a while.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. So you know, but
Hornets haven't had a long tenured player besides Kemba, I guess now.
Yeah,
we weren't considering Dale no superstar either.
No. Yeah. I wouldn't even consider him a star.
Not at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, Voyant Studio, man, I totally agree. This is what I've been saying from jump since LeBron said it was his dream to play with his kid. I already knew what that was. It is the greatest egomaniac and the greatest narcissist in the history of the NBA doing what he does. And this is all about him and less about Bronny. But, you know, it is what it is. All right, let's do this because we can go on all night. These are great comments and all that. Let's open up the phone lines, fellas. Let's do that. I know there's some people probably waiting to get through. So the number is 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. Give us a call. Give us your thoughts on this 3-ring circus in LA. Give us your thoughts on Bronny, whatever it may be. Call us. We want to hear from you. Let's hear it. Let's go. Del Curry was a shooter. He is better than Seth. I don't know. Seth is an elite shooter too. That's pretty close.
I don't talk about Seth though. I mean, Seth wasn't, to my point, Seth wasn't a star. That's what That's what the topic of conversation was. I mean, did Dale ever average over 20 a game? I don't think he ever had it. I think he got close, maybe 16, 17. So, like, that's not the same. That's not the same.
Del Curry is Seth Curry in today's NBA. Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Steph, Del, and Seth in that order. Del wasn't as well rounded. I don't know.
Del wasn't much of a dribbler.
Nah. He was Clay. He was Clay.
Let that thing air out. You got one job, big fella. Shoot.
Right.
11 dribbles.
And shoot. 60 points, 11 dribbles. That's insane.
Crazy.
Right? Crazy. Oh, wow. Okay. No calls on this topic? I definitely expected to hear from you. Yeah, that's very shocking, man.
Who was it early in the chat? Was it Michael? Who was it early in the chat, Bronny?
Yeah.
I definitely thought he was
going ham. Yeah, I thought he was gonna. Yeah, he was going ham. I definitely thought he was gonna call. But let's see what we got. Dell played in a more difficult era, though. That is a fact. All right. Well, no calls, surprisingly. I definitely expected to hear from you guys on that, but that's all right. Let's move along to the final topic.
Before we go, Del Curry's highest average 16.3. That's nowhere near.
Okay, there you go. Okay. So that's not even close to 20.
Not even close.
Hey, all right, fellas. Before y'all move on to the next one, I got to get ready to get out. I got some work stuff to do in the background, so I'm going to bid y'all adieu.
All right, Big Red, man.
All right, Big Red. Be easy, brother.
Appreciate you having me on, guys.
Man, we about to talk some football, bro.
We gonna have him back. Don't worry about it. We'll get him next time.
I'll be back Saturday.
There we go. All right, good. Can't wait. Can't wait for that. All right, Big Red. Have a good one, man.
Be easy, brother.
Have a good one, man.
All right, let's go ahead and we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna take it to the final topic here. So this is gonna be a good one. It's next week NFL training camps start. And man, y'all know. There we go. Okay, y'all know I'm thirsty for football. I'm thirsty for college football. Thirsty for the NFL. I cannot wait. So without further what is it? I can't even remember what the expression is. But the point
further ado.
Whatever it is, let's get to some football talk, y'all. Let's get to some football talk. So obviously,
hey, chat, real quick. Shout out your NFL team in the chat. Let's see what teams we got up there. Shout out to NFL teams, man.
Yeah, that's
shout
a good
out to NFL teams.
Yeah.
Eddie, I already know you about to say the Steelers. I already know it.
I saw somebody talking about the Steelers in the chat. And while you're in there, make sure you're clicking that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that too. Appreciate it. All right. Put your team in the chat, and then we're gonna get to it. So if y'all are familiar with the show, you know already, G and I, we are diehard purple and black. We go Ravens all day.
Maximus.
Yeah.
Maximus, how you doing, brother? How you doing, dog?
Oh my gosh.
How you doing?
Oh wow. Oh, there we go. It's not that serious. He's a Bears fan too. So there you go, Transformer. Nino.
What happened?
It's not that serious. He says he's an abused Bears fan.
He said that?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Maximus. Maximus says
okay.
Bears. Yeah.
Okay. It's not that serious is too. Oh wow.
I'm an abused Bears fan. Hey.
Yeah. Okay.
The promised land.
Wow. MJ King, y'all messed up. See, because y'all messed around and took freaking what's his name, Bryce Young, and I said it. Well, you probably haven't been around on the channel that long, but I said it from last year. Like, take CJ Stroud, he's that dude. But it's all good. Whatever. Let's see. Maximus, the Bears. Nino, already know about you, man. Steeler Nation, not feeling that. Me and G, we ain't trying to hear that from you, man. Voyant Studio, Falcons. Okay. Best thing about the Falcons is Michael Penix Jr. Big fan of that guy.
Michael Vick. Oh no, too soon. All right,
Michael Penix Jr. Wow, stop. Special K. Okay. All right, G, we got one right here. Ravens.
Oh, they go to Ravens. Here we go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Flock Ravens. Is it? What's it?
Hey man, watch your mouth, homie. Watch your mouth.
Oh, that's the Eagles I'm thinking about.
No, we the Ravens flock, but watch how you phrase that. I see where you're going. You think you slick.
Hey, I'm excited to watch the Ravens this year, man.
Yeah, man, they're gonna be good.
Lightning and Thunder. We're gonna talk about that. Lightning and Thunder.
Indeed.
I want to see that.
Yeah, it's not that serious. Stroud is a beast, man. We're definitely gonna talk about him. He's an animal.
Sophomore slump, Jordan Love. We'll talk about that last name. What is the last name? Hell,
not at all. Jordan Love is he's that dude, and we're gonna talk about. All right, let's get to it. What we got here? Okay, so let's go ahead and start. We'll start with the teams that we like, and then we'll I'll take it into some of the teams that I'm interested in seeing this year and get you guys' thoughts on those. And but before we even get into that, I want to talk a little bit. Y'all know, if you've been here and you've watched the show, this Dak Prescott thing drives me crazy, right? Because he's obviously up for a new deal, and there's this whole business of, is he going to get 60 mil or the Cowboys going to pay him, blah, blah, blah. He's basically got them over a barrel, but I'm saying you might just have to eat it. Skylar Horn, Detroit Lions. Okay, Skylar, what up, man? What up? So you got a rival in the NFC North in this video here with the Transformer. But
I picked them to lead the division last year, so they did.
Yeah, they look good, man. They look good. So where was I? So Dak Prescott, we're trying to figure out what's going to happen with this dude and getting paid, because obviously he's on the last year of his deal, and he made second team All-Pro last year, led the league in touchdown passes, 3 straight years, 12 plus wins, blah, blah, blah. But when you need him the most in the big games, he vanishes. And I don't understand for the life of me what is the big deal with this dude, because I do not believe Dak is it. There you go. He
needs a running game.
Oh, that's a fact. The numbers
all does not strive with no running game. He cannot be the guy. He cannot be the focal point, the quarterback that's going to get you where you need to be in the playoffs. He thrives off of a run game.
Always has. So all those pretty passing numbers, they do nothing when you need them most. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's not that serious. AFC North might get all 4 teams in the playoffs. That is no joke whatsoever.
Man, it's loaded.
There you go, Skylar Horn with the what up though. So you know that dude is from the D. I remember Jalen Rose. That was always his thing. What up though? So that's where I learned that from. Jalen Rose and Jamel Hill. They was always kicking that. So
yeah.
But yeah, so this Dak Prescott thing, I really can't understand it. So I was watching Speak the other day on Fox Sports 1. And it was interesting that one of the topics was, who would you rather have, Jalen Hurts or Dak Prescott? And I was like, I can't believe this is even a question. I really can't. But check this out, though. So there's some interesting numbers here because, of course, you had some people, somebody saying Dak, somebody saying Hurts. So check this out. This was Joy Taylor's response to that, and I thought it was very interesting. We'll come back and talk about it.
Stats don't tell the whole story, but when it does tell some of the story. They're kind of the same player during the regular season. Dak has played for longer, so let's just talk about since Jalen has become a starter, right? I feel like that's reasonable. That's a reasonable place to start. So Dak's won 31 games, Hurts has won 33. Both have lost the same amount of games, so 31 and 14, 33 and 14. Okay, that's a wash. 275 yards per game, 273 yards per game. Okay, about the same. Touchdown interception, Dak 134, Hurts 99, 30, about the same. Total touchdowns, yeah, total touchdowns, interceptions 134, 99, 30, about the same. Games with 300 plus total yards, Hurts has 19, Dak has 15, so Hurts does have a couple more of them things. So then they're the same player.
Nah.
So you got people really sitting out here saying that Dak is so far superior, and I really don't get it. And here's the difference, right? So those are just regular season numbers, but guess what? This is what happens. Jalen Hurts, how long has he been a starter? 3 years, right? He's been to a Super Bowl and was within, 2 minutes of winning the damn thing? Now, don't get me wrong. Short menu, wins and losses, right? You win or you lose. But at least he was there.
At least he got there.
Right, he was there and gave his team an opportunity to win the thing. Dak Prescott has never even been to a conference title game. And we can't say, Jalen Hurts had much better teams, because we see how many Pro Bowlers and All Pro players are constantly on those Dallas Cowboys rosters. So we've got to stop this. Edward Jackson, what has Jalen Hurts done better than Dak? Win in the big games. Yep. He's a more mobile quarterback, and you see how much he's improved in the passing game now that he's got legitimate weapons on the outside, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. So he can do everything Dak can do, and he can add something to it in terms of having more mobility. So this whole Dak thing, I don't get it for the life of me. And at the end of the day, he's not going to get you where you need to go. I don't know how much more evidence Jerry Jones and Cowboys fans need of this. It just is what it is.
But let me tell you that one thing about Rain Dakota Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
He will give you the numbers in the season.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when it's the season's over. Because guess what? He's going to choke. He's going to choke every time. He's going to choke. Because guess what? If there's no run game, there's no Rain Dakota Prescott. He just turns into Rain Prescott. There's no Dak. There's no nothing. You know what I mean? So when Jalen has no run game, Jalen, it can be the run game. He can make that. Yeah. He's a playmaker. You know what I mean? There's a difference between Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott off that aspect alone. When you need a play to be made, Jalen can go make that play. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He could break out of the pocket, make a crazy throw, or go for a crazy run. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Joy, even though Joy is beautiful, one of the most beautiful men on TV.
Yeah.
Joy, hopefully you see this podcast so you can hear me say that. But anyway, it's not close to a good comparison, especially when you want to compare the regular season stats.
Mm-hmm. Right. Gee, what are your thoughts on Dak versus Jalen Hurts, man? Which way you leaning on that?
Man, we got two choke artists. All right.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, heavy on the regular season, but when it comes down to it, just failure to produce.
So let me. Yeah, my bad.
No, but so Dak is definitely going to get paid, right? Just because of where the franchise is today, and then we hitting into a season. He's going to reset the market, but I don't know what Jalen Hurts is going to show up this year. I'm unsure. Like, I don't know. I mean, he's pretty solid, as far as numbers is concerned. But when it comes to that fourth quarter, it's hit or miss. He may fumble, right, on key possession. He may just let the ball fall out.
Yeah, it had a big fumble, yeah.
Key possession, right? Like that's happened before. I think we got to put Brock Purdy in this conversation.
Oh yeah, well I got Brock Purdy ahead of both of them, but that's a different.
Yeah. So we have to like, are we talking about two top 5 quarterbacks? That's the question there, right?
No,
Tua still hasn't been paid, right? We know we're gonna get out of Dak, right? His issue isn't necessarily, can he throw the ball? He can put the ball pretty much anywhere and everywhere it needs to get. It's the play calling, man. I think I speak for most Cowboys fans when I say, that ability to audible to play. And then last year, he came in hurt. He's had some key injuries, in the last 2 or 3 years that, at one point we didn't even know if he was going to be able to throw the ball because of that leg injury, and it's just crazy release. He had to adjust everything. And so does he get paid? I think it's the stalemate between.
He will, but he shouldn't.
He's going to get paid.
He's going to get paid. He's at 5,000 yards. Like, he puts numbers up, man. Like, this is a league that, it doesn't matter. Like we seen people get paid that shouldn't even. Like the Jaguars quarterback. That was armed robbery, right? It doesn't matter. It's who's your agent, right? Like the agent will determine if you get paid or not.
That's a fact. It's not that serious. Great point. I think we talked about this. Dallas should have had Derrick Henry if they were smart. I don't know why they didn't. They couldn't pay him. No, they could have paid him. They could have paid him. Remember? No, they could have paid him. They could have made that happen. Nah, because
Dallas didn't have no money.
We talking about last season when he hit the block. They could have traded for him because at the time, right? What did the Ravens get him for? $8 million, right, G? $8 million a year, I believe, right? Dallas could have paid that because
Dallas ain't got that money to spend.
Bro, they haven't paid Dak. They haven't paid Micah. They haven't paid CeeDee Lamb. They could have paid him. And think
they
about
got
it.
Zeke running the ball, bro. Right now, Zeke that number one.
And Zeke getting paid how much? A bag of chips,
Zeke
fan
ain't
of
making
soda,
no real money now.
a fan of soda.
Nah, they definitely
money, man.
If they wanted to win, they definitely should have got Derrick Henry. You got to deal with that. You
got
to make it work.
Not putting 8 in the box.
He's not anymore. So this was a good comment by Nino. I saw this, G, and for the sake of being objective, when you said Dak and Jalen Hurts both choke artists, the same could be said about Lamar, bro. The same could be said. Now, what I will say is this: we have seen Lamar Jackson get consistently further with each playoff appearance. First time in the playoffs, he lost. Next time in the playoffs, he wins the wild card. Then he wins the divisional. Now he's gone to the conference title game. So he has continued to improve in the playoffs. But for those that, for instance, Steelers fans or whoever else, for the sake of being objective, they could argue that Lamar is a choke artist as well.
Hell no.
That you say
Hell
what?
No.
I mean, did he not throw that reckless pick in the end zone?
Huh?
Did he not throw a reckless pick in the end zone?
Are you talking about the one to old boy, the tight end, where that was clearly pass interference, where he pushed him 5 yards off the ball? We talking about that? Go back and watch the tape. That was a referee call right there. That wasn't a pick. He put the ball there. If you notice, he was triple teamed, but he was in a position to make the play. 2 hands on the back, push away, and the other guy got the ball.
Okay, so
I don't think you throw that. I don't think you throw that into a triple team, though. I don't think you do that.
He caught it.
Not a great decision.
He can go up there and get the ball.
So did his legs was his legs hurt or something like that? Because he stopped running too.
He put the ball in a position where he could catch it. But however, if somebody's pushing me in my back and it's clearly, if you're saying they held the flags. They held the flags on that. You can go back and watch it, bro. If you want.
No. What we're talking about Lamar, and I will say this, right? 2 things can be true. Number one, Todd Monken had horrible game planning in that AFC title game. I don't know what he was thinking, but we saw so many opportunities where Lamar could have taken off and kept the chains moving, and he didn't, because he, for whatever reason, decided that he was going to try to sit back there and play Peyton Manning. And yes, he can throw it. Yes, he can be accurate, but that's not his game, and that's not at all what should have been happening, right? That's not what should have been happening. And while we're here, I'll go ahead and play this. This is making a break year for Rashad Bateman. There's a lot going on in Baltimore to like offensively, and of course, we know defensively they are going to be monsters.
Yeah, that's our team. Always have, always will be.
Yeah. So at the end of it, it's really a lot of it is going to come down to Lamar stepping up and moving forward. Seriously.
I mean, you look at 2-time MVP quarterback, right? One of only 2 in the league right now. He can put the ball pretty much anywhere, and he's a dual threat quarterback. So certain things like that, where he has those games where he put the ball in the air and he allow his receivers to catch it. Those lob passes, right? If the referee's not doing their job, it can't be on all of Lamar. He's just one player, bro. Like, he's a quarterback. I mean, if you look at like most of these quarterbacks, especially the Love and the Packers, you put them in that same offensive set, he doesn't thrive. He's a bust, right? This guy is special, man. He will continue to make plays for the duration of his tenure at Baltimore, and if he decides to go anywhere else, he's the only player. He's one of only players that started with these mediocre wide receivers, and so his tight end becomes his number 1 target in Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews get hurt now, likely steps up. He's still in the same position to win. Some of the times he does it on his foot, he does it with his feet, and then the other times he put it in the air. He's an exceptional player, and so much so, right? He has the same back end that we saw with LeBron in this circus of the Lakers, right, in the offseason, with just him getting signed. There's several players who nobody talks about right now that hasn't been signed that put up similar numbers that he has, but they don't have that superstar power that Lamar brings to the table. And so I'm interested to see how these guys work out that audible and giving him more opportunities to change the game, change the play at the line. And then let's talk about that, right? Like hopefully they take the leashes off and they let the dog do what dogs does, right? Like
let me stop you though. All that is great, and I feel you, but right now I don't feel like you're being objective, bro.
Okay, thank you. All right, there we go.
This, right? And this is me. I'm a Ravens fan talking, right? So I'm with you.
We gonna go, bro. We can go. Okay.
What I'm gonna say is this. Very simply put, on that big stage in the conference title game with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line, that's when Lamar Jackson has to take over however he needs to take over. Now, that is not the game for him to sit back there and try to be something he's not, which is a slice and dice pocket passer. Is he capable of being that? Yes, but that's not the time to try to do that when we saw so many opportunities for him to make the elite plays with his legs, right? We saw so many opportunities that he didn't take advantage of. And so that's why Nino asked the question, could Lamar be called a choke artist as well? Because at the end of the day, if you're going to say the same thing about Jalen Hurts, who has been to a Super Bowl, who has carried his team to a Super Bowl now, now, granted, he had more talent offensively on his team than Lamar Jackson did, so I'll give him that. But he took his team to a Super Bowl and had him right there to win the thing. Did he make a big fumble? Yes, but he had him right there to win the thing. And so, if we're saying that, but Lamar hasn't yet gotten there, you can't move the goalpost because you're a fan of one and not the other.
No,
like, you gotta be objective and keep the standard the same.
I'm definitely not moving the goalpost. What I'm saying is my team continues to evolve, right? First year, Monken's first year as an offensive coordinator, right? Before that, it was all pass heavy. He didn't want to take on that same identity that the previous coach and Greg Roman took to run the ball down a team's throat, even when you know that they can't stop the run, right? We had issues. We had situations where you look at our number 1 and number 2 running backs who was, punted to the Chargers, right? They didn't run the ball at all, right? They didn't. We did an absolute
60
job. It was in the
AFC title game.
Absolutely
For the number 1 running
team
in the league.
That offensive
Todd Monken, that
coach.
was a terrible game plan.
Did a terrible game plan, right? Like that can't be that cannot be held. That Lamar can't be held accountable for the plays that's being called, right?
No,
and
but
what
you're
we
out
saw
there,
with Jim Harbaugh is. Oh, 1 second. What we seen with Jim Harbaugh is, and he just came out with a presser where he talked about, I want Lamar to make these plays at the line. I want him to be able to audible more at the line and make these decisions because he wasn't afforded that opportunity last year, and we saw that. He stood in the pack. He stood in the backfield, and he threw balls, and sometimes the ref didn't call him. Sometimes he was just terrible. Yeah, OBJ on his team, one of the most successful wide receivers in the league, known for catching the ball. But if you don't control that clock early on in the game, and Andy Reid he's gonna take your lunch. He's gonna eat you alive. And what we saw was that the offensive coach was outmatched when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs and what they was able to establish in their offense against the Ravens. We had nothing for Taylor Swift first. We had nothing for Taylor Swift.
But you
had nothing for the Swift.
He's gonna do his thing. So that was like
that love affair that the league has with her. We had nothing for it. And
right.
Yeah, man, it seemed so scripted. It was wild. But at the same time, my guy got MVP, and he's gonna come back. He's coming back in camp. He's a lot healthier. He's gonna be a lot faster this year, a lot more elusive. He's going to be able. They're pretty much giving him the playbook and run. This is his first year playing with this offensive coordinator. There's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some plays where he's like, "Hey, look, let's throw this out. This doesn't work."
I understand, but I think what you're missing is we're talking about one of the most physically gifted quarterbacks in the history of the game, and times where only he could make a play, he didn't choose to do that. So that's not standing at the line, surveying the defense and making an audible. That's not that. We're talking about where one of the places where he excels probably better than just about anyone who's ever done it, and that's making a play when the play breaks down. And for whatever reason, he did not choose to do that. That's just what it is.
And that's a skill that most quarterbacks doesn't have. So he can't be held accountable for not running 70 yards into the end zone.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about keeping the chains moving.
He had no left tackle. Look at the game. I looked
at the game, and
he's running for his life.
We're talking about
the ball. I saw him hold the ball a long time.
I saw that too, and
I saw him hold the ball, and that's why he lost that fumble. Remember that fumble? He held the ball for like 7-8. So he was just back there. He could have broke off and ran.
That's just one part of a play, bro. Like
what we're talking about is just
that's one part of a play. We're not going to talk about the fact that one of his the number 1, number 2 receivers fumble the ball on the pylon. That's not a Lamar Jackson thing.
No,
that
that's not
the dynamic of the game. Where you would be ahead, now you playing behind because you turned the ball over on the 1 yard line.
But G, what you're missing,
but ain't that the same thing happened to Jalen?
Two things can be true, G, but what you're missing is, again, opportunities Lamar had to keep drives alive by improvising that he did not take. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, it was a terrible game plan. Yes, Greg Roman called a lousy game. No doubt. I'm not arguing that. I'm talking about the most physically gifted quarterback we've seen that can do things nobody else can do, didn't take advantage of those gifts when he needed to at the most. And that's why it could be argued.
My final point is this, right? If you don't control the clock, right? Kansas City did a good job of shrinking the game for us. And so now all these plays where you running power out, pro set sweeps on the right, you can't run those because you behind. Turnovers and having clock control changes a lot of things. And that's why they were so adamant about going to get Derrick Henry so that they can make sure that they have that clock superiority in him and Lamar. That changes the game, bro. Like he's only one person. Somebody else still has to step up, bro. Somebody has to step up. And if you're not giving the ball to your running back, like we saw in the 2000 and 2012 when we won those Super Bowl, we had the running game was locked in Jamal Lewis. He locked it up so much so that you didn't need a quarterback. Trent Dilfer won without, without having a superstar as a stud at quarterback, right? Like, and so I mean, yes, Lamar's MVP player, and heavy is the head that wears the crown. I understand all those things, but at some point, man, it's just so many factors. You can only do so much, bro. You can only do so much.
But that doesn't answer the question.
What's the question?
The question was we were talking about Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts, and we were like, okay, who's the better quarterback and in what situations? And me and Bruce said Jalen Hurts because of his playmaking ability and things that he can do. You said both.
Two choke
artists. Not good. They're both choke artists.
That's what I said.
You specifically stated, because what did Jalen Hurts do when he fumbled the ball? What did Lamar do? Fumbled the ball.
I think we still survive with that fumble. We don't survive when young bull fumbles the ball on the 1 line.
You can't just blame it on everybody else.
That changes the momentum of the game.
You got to give
the momentum of the game. I'll give you that.
That changes the momentum of the game. And
let's do this, G. You got a question here, man. You got a question. I'm gonna let you handle this. For you, Baltimore Ravens guy, my question to y'all: does Lamar Jackson have to win a Super Bowl to silence the critics because he already has 2 MVPs regular season? I know the answer to that. What's your answer, G?
I'm gonna say this. Lamar came in as a running back. he couldn't throw the ball, even though his college stats was,
at Louisville, he was a problem.
He put up 60 touchdowns on a year, like, and
I remember.
Absolutely, if anybody can do it, he's the guy that will, because he thrives off the naysayers. You see this time and time again. Oh, you can't run. Oh, you can only throw. Oh, you should switch to running back. Like, you see this. I think I will definitely be surprised if at the end of his tenure or end of his career, this kid doesn't have a Super Bowl. He has all stuff.
No, I think he'll get one.
Remember, he took the position. He took the position from a Super Bowl winning quarterback after he took it from Flacco. Hurt.
That's right. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think he'll get one.
He's special. He's definitely special. I hope I was able to answer the question. MVP, two-time MVP is really tough. That puts you ahead of most of the quarterbacks in the league, especially the Packers quarterback, especially the Packers and the CJ Stroud.
He only had one.
This is his first year starting.
Stay on your side. Stay over there.
You coming over here, bro? You coming over here? And I got to, man. Hey, listen. We not talking about the Lakers no more. We talking about, smash mouth football, right? Something that y'all don't have over there. This the AFC North. It ain't an easy walk.
Yeah. It ain't easy at all.
Over here, bro. Like,
not at all.
And I like the fact that my team is tooling up for this AFC North. The Steelers are probably going to find themselves in a situation this year, especially losing one of their corners to domestic violence for half the season. He'll be fresh when they have to go on that run because most of their games are AFC North games, and it's tough.
Yeah,
that'll definitely be the difference maker if he can show up and still be in shape and still do those things with that 8-game suspension that he took. So I look forward to see AFC North football, and I see everybody else in the playoffs.
There it is.
Hey,
all right, let's good stuff, G. Let's take it now. Your turn, Transformer. Let's go to the Packers. All right, and I will say this: I am so impressed with Jordan Love. I think he's one of the best. I want to call him a young quarterback. He's young, not in age, but young in starting experience. I think he's one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. He's another guy who's special. He's got all the tools. He's got all the arm talent. He's mobile. He can do everything. He put the ball, like G said about Lamar, wherever you want it. He's probably a more traditional drop back passer, even though he has really good athleticism and mobility. Tell us about the Packers, what you expect from them this year. I'll say this before I let you go, Transform. That addition of Josh Jacobs is crazy, bro. But go ahead.
All right, so what I see from my Packers is maturity, right? We have the youngest receiving core. Matter of fact, I think we have the youngest team now in the NFL. So with that being said, I see a lot of maturity. I want to see how he handles his second formal starting of the season, because now, like the teams have more tape. Yeah, they seeing how you're playing now. But I think he learned a lot from Aaron Rodgers. He learned a lot. That the way he's moving in the pocket, we didn't see that in that one start he had against Kansas City last year. So I think he's developed into that role very, very, very carefully from week 1 up to week 7. And when he started going on that run, he really started to get things to click. So, but I think we're in a good position. We're in a good position of growth. I don't see much of more than what I saw last year. I do see perhaps a 10-7 season. Wouldn't be shocked of a 9-8 because, like I said, the team's going to have a little bit more film. Yeah. I'll keep it a buck. I think
the NFC North isn't exactly an easy division either. It's not the AFC North, but it's a tough division also.
Yeah, Detroit. You know what I'm saying? I think they're still going to finish number 1. The Vikings always either split or they sometimes even take both games.
I think you got a chance with the Vikings though, because their quarterback situation is shaky. It's Sam Darnold or the rookie. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't worry too much about the Vikings.
Them division games get a little tricky. For some odd reason, I'll be feeling like, hey, man, we should beat Kirk Cousins every time. But guess what? Aaron Rodgers somehow loses to Kirk Cousins in the Vikings. I don't understand it. But
Kirk Cousins is gone, so not an issue.
Yeah, I hear you. But like I said, man, I mean, young receiving core. I did like the moves that we picked up. When we picked up Josh Jacobs, we picked up that safety that we needed desperately out of New York. And to fill in that spot in the backfield. I want to see Jair come back a little bit more healthier this season. Hopefully, what's that kid? The other kid out of Stokes, Eric Stokes. Hopefully he can be healthy, man, because I really do think we can have a very, very solid secondary if them boys come back. I love what we did in the draft another corner, drafting another safety, really just trying to mold the young team, man. I like that we finally got rid of the diva in Aaron Rodgers, and we were able to just build the team in the way that we should have built the team and kept the team going. You know what I mean? Eventually, good things come to pass, but Aaron Rodgers just became too much more of a headache than he was being, what we wanted him to be. You know what I mean? To take us to that promised land. But I do like that we're young, man. I do see us being a wild card again. Making a great run in the playoffs when it comes to, whoever's in front of us. I don't think they're scared of anybody. I think they're just whoever's next, they're gonna get the best version of the Green Bay Packers, man. So I like that we as far as cap space, we about to pay Jordan Love, but other than that, nobody else can really get paid like that. So we got plenty of money on the books to make even further moves in the future. So I like where we're at, man.
Yeah, so the only thing I'll say about that is you have to pay Jordan Love, and it's coming. I don't know if he's kind of trying to wait out to see what Tua and Dak get before he goes ahead and signs. He might be, or I don't know if Green Bay is waiting to see, let him play one more year and see if he continues on the hot roll that he was on to end the season last year. But we saw how good he can be, man. Jordan Love is legit. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's a little risky, man. It'd be some plays where I'll be like, it'd be at the end of the game, and he'll make that risky throw to try to be the hero or be the savior. Like, bro, just make the right decision.
Well, Brett Favre did that a lot. Brett Favre did that a lot, and it got him 3 MVPs and got you all championships. So,
Yeah, also led league in interceptions. It's just a whole.
Would you trade lead the league in interceptions for a chip though?
We had defenses and stuff like that to kind of back him up, but it's just Brett Favre would make crazy throws in the middle of the game. But for somehow, when he gets to that fourth quarter, Brett Favre turns into a different guy. Jordan Love is backwards. He's doing the complete opposite. He's making all the right throws in the midst of the game, but at the very, very end of the game, he tries to make that hero throw when it's not necessarily needed. It's not fourth down. It's not 3rd and 11. It's 2nd down, bro. Why are you throwing it in the double coverage?
Because he can.
Yeah. But it's not smart. That's what I'm saying. That's what.
Yeah, but he's not. But they're not turning into picks though. So now maybe he's gonna fall too in love with that, and they turn into costly turnovers. But we'll see. Jordan Love is real deal. Go ahead, G.
No. I was just gonna say, he's been in study hall for 2 years, and so I was surprised to see him show up his 3rd year and put up 4,000 yards. Detroit is probably gonna be the front runners for that division. I got Chicago second, coming out of there with the retool. But at the same time, I think it's between the Packers and the Bears. It depends on what team decides to show up. But I definitely like Jordan Love and how he plays. There's no question he's definitely the real deal.
He absolutely.
But it takes football as a team sport, right? Like you can have the best quarterback, and if the rest of the team is inferior to the other team against them, then
trust me, I know what that feels like.
Yeah. So I think football in general, I look at the NFL and it's like, there's no brownies, right? Like there's nobody that's just giving it. You have to strap up, put your chin strap on, and even though they're not hitting as hard as they used to, right? You still have to get out there and play. And then with the addition of this new no tackle rule that they have, the hip drop rule.
The hip drop.
Whoever can throw the ball in front of you. You pretty much can't tackle a player from behind.
So if you catch it, I guess you just gotta let him run into the end zone. I don't know what you're supposed to do now.
It's really weird. So
all right. So
you'll see a lot of cover 2 defense this year. You'll see a lot of cover 2 defense.
So keep everything in front of you, right?
All
right, so we've talked about the Ravens, we've talked about the Packers. Those are our teams. So let's touch a little bit on the teams that we're interested in and want to see how they do this year before we get out of here. So I've got I want to see how the Texans do. I want to see how the Bengals do, and I want to see how the Colts do. Those are my 3. Let's start with the Texans. So CJ Stroud, man, that dude is so good. He is so good, and I said he should have been the number 1 overall pick last year. He showed it. I think he got 4,000 yards. He only threw 5 picks last year. Like, that's crazy. So he can move in the pocket. He doesn't make dumb turnovers. He has outstanding arm talent. He just can manipulate everything. He's just good. Now, to that point, 2nd year, a lot of tape on him. We'll see. Now they know his tendencies. We'll see what they can do. But what did they do? They went out and got him another weapon, Stephon Diggs. They brought him down from Buffalo. Big move. So he turned CJ Stroud turned Nico Collins into a legit Pro Bowl receiver. Now you bring a legit Pro Bowl / all pro level receiver in Stephon Diggs. That's a very good football team, well coached, outstanding quarterback. What are you guys' thoughts on CJ Stroud and the Texans?
Take it, G.
CJ Stroud. So I mean, we beat them, but it was only because they went flat. And you add Stephon Diggs to that equation, and now some of those 3rd and longs, you execute those, and so they definitely going to be a threat this year going in. I don't think they lost anybody going into 2024 season. They just pretty much got better. But like you said, there's a lot of tape, and these defensive coordinators, they are experts at what they do.
That's right.
And they'll put you in positions where they tie that dominant hand behind you and make you play towards your flaws. And so it'll be interesting to see how they span out week 8, how they get out of the gate. Their first 8 games won't necessarily determine if they make the playoffs or not. But at the same time, it's the NFL, so it's any given Sunday. I like to see how they play, in the cold weather, right? Being a predominantly warm weather team, think they're in the dome, if I'm not mistaken. But a lot of times teams have a really hard time playing in the elements, and so CJ Stroud, he's one of those guys, man. He's a dog, and just have to wait and see. Really, honestly, I haven't looked at their schedule much to see who they have late in the season, but I know they hope it's not the Ravens.
No,
Everybody
y'all
hopes
play
it's
Kansas
not the
City.
Ravens.
Say it again.
Y'all got Kansas City game 1.
Yeah, we got it's first game. That's fine. We're good.
Oh, I thought you said first game. I heard you wrong.
No, you said late in the season.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I'm talking about, that we played them first, right? We played them first. They was a wild card team. We played them first, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And he put on the show. He did everything right. He didn't do anything wrong, but he didn't do enough to win.
That's right.
That was plays where he was flat. And that was probably, he's a first round starting quarterback, right? And so he didn't have the time that Jordan Love had to sit and watch tape and study the playbook. So he went out there and he was raw. He threw him in the fire, and I think he held up. I thought he
definitely held up. Yeah,
he definitely held up. Yeah.
Go ahead, Transform. Where you at on CJ Stroud?
First of all, congratulations to the University of Ohio State. All right, Ohio State finally has a quarterback that actually made it to the league and actually going to be good. So shout out to Ohio State. Congratulations. Alabama. Bryce Young was not supposed to be the first pick. All right. CJ Stroud went out there and proved everybody right.
You know what that was, though. You know what that was. That was when in doubt, take the SEC guy. It's nothing but SEC guys.
Take the Bama boy.
And lazy scouting. Go ahead.
But no, man, CJ Stroud, man, he definitely turned up. Those comeback games, they were fun to watch, man. Like when you thought the game was long and due over, and this man is making a comeback drive. So you already see that he has that level of game. Like, I don't even need to be in the lead the whole time. I can chase y'all down. You know what I mean? So I have that type of mentality. When you add a Stephon Diggs in that receiving core, that just gives him another weapon to tear you guys apart. You know what I mean? So I think he's gonna stay the path when it comes to when he's how he performed last year, even though you got tape, because they, as a Houston organization, they're putting the pieces with him to make sure that doesn't happen, to help make sure that doesn't happen. When you add Stephon Diggs, when you're still bolstering up that defense to make sure, their defense is tired, or sitting on the sideline that much longer and stuff like that. So I think CJ Stroud is really, really, like G said, he's really that guy. He's really going to be that guy. I think we got plenty more great years to come to see another great quarterback in the AFC. Just duke it out with Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes and all them boys, Lamar Jackson and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a very, very loaded AFC.
Absolutely. All right, so let's go. This is another team I want to see, and right back to the damn AFC North is Cincinnati Bengals, because Joe Burrow is that dude. He is that dude, and obviously coming off. Say again.
When he's available.
I was about to say, obviously coming off the major injury, he's paid, he's got his money, he still has his weapons. I think they franchised T. Higgins, he signed the franchise tag. Obviously, you got Jamar Chase, who's looking to get paid. So we'll see. And obviously, the big key is what? Can Joe Burrow come back healthy? But when he is healthy, he is clearly the second best quarterback in the league, as much as I hate to admit that. And why is that? Because he's the only one that's been able to consistently beat Pat Mahomes. And he beat him in the AFC title game to go to the Super Bowl. So Joe Burrow, he's that guy when he's right. Thoughts on Joe Burrow and Cincinnati. I think for me, the big question mark is you lose Joe Mixon, who I think is obviously an outstanding guy on the ground. He's very good out of the backfield as a receiver. You lose him, I think that's going to definitely affect the way that you are able to that's going to affect the way that you're able to play in your offense. Dominique was good. Good to see you. Yeah, you missed it. It was good. But let's talk about Joe Burrow. What are your thoughts on that? We'll start with you, Transformer.
Joel Embiid. Great player. Dominant. dominant, right?
Okay.
MVP, right? What's his problem?
Injuries. Can't stay healthy.
Joe Burrow beat Patrick Mahomes, the current GOAT in the NFL, right? What's his problem?
Can't stay healthy.
I need you to be available, Bubba. That's all.
I got you. The only thing I'll say about that, that's a great analogy. Only thing I'll say about that is when he is available, he's gotten further than Embiid has been able to get. Embiid hasn't even been able to get to the conference finals. Joe Burrow's literally been within 60 seconds of hoisting a Lombardi.
I get all that, but we said this early in the show. Did you win the big one?
You did not.
You didn't win the big one. So, you're playing extra games post the regular season. So right now, you got no chip, you got no jury, and so forth. You ain't even,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
is there a conference championship ring?
I don't think so. You get a trophy. I don't think you get no rings.
Okay.
Yeah, but right now, Joe Burrow is nice, man. Joe Burrow is nice. Joel Embiid is nice. He's a dog when you got to get in that paint with him. He's a dog when you got to get on that floor with him. But if you ain't available, man, I got nothing to go off of, man. And quarterback, especially, you getting hurt a lot, that's not a good sign. You know what I mean? With the freak injuries that he's getting, you know what I mean? That shortens your career drastically in this league. So, I do want the kid to be healthy, man. I think with him, the AFC is just that much more fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That talk between him and Pat Mahomes and that back and forth. Now you add Lamar Jackson with lightning thunder over there in Baltimore. You got a young CJ Stroud coming up in the league, you know what I mean, doing their thing. Yeah. I think
I'm no Justin Herbert guy, but Harbaugh is going to have the Chargers playing well because that's just what he does. I
gotta see it first.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's fine.
Yeah, I gotta see it first. But
not mad at that. But if his track record is any indicator, what you got on Joe Burrow, man? I know that's the enemy.
Just going to back him up and say, you tear your PLC, your MLC, and meniscus, and then that issue with the wrist. You got like one of the number one receiving cores in the AFC North. I think. Right. You're not mobile now, and you may not be able to put the ball where it needs to be. We have to wait to see how he spans out at least game 8. Like I err on the side of caution, right? I give them 8 games to let me know where they're going to be at. If they ascending after 8 games, then I'm like, okay, these guys are going to be a problem. If they start to decrease in output and productivity, then I'm putting them, that number 4. That at the bottom of the barrel. The AFC is really north. It's a smash mouth football division, and if you can't run the ball, you're gonna lose. And if you don't have a mobile quarterback, you're probably going to lose as well. And so, because they're one of my opponents, I kind of look down and I smile at his issues being the leader of that team.
Right.
But I also understand if he show up to camp and he's 100% ready to go. Yeah. That boy is dangerous, man. He's a brother of the leaf. He's a brother of the leaf. He'll smoke a cigar after he smoked you, and so you have to be ready.
He will.
And he gonna walk in the game with that fly suit on, with the stunner stays on.
Absolutely, that all white man. Listen, man. I went to a Ravens game, man. I'm talking to a Bengal fan. He talking cold cash crap, man. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, nah, man, not my boys. Third quarter, they put us away, man. I was sitting there like, this is not happening, man. Joe Burrow went off. He went off, you hear me? And so I'm looking for get back. He didn't play last year because of the wrist injury. He left out game. Right. I think he left the game early and wasn't able to perform. And I was mad because, we were steamrolling teams last year. So I look forward to this year. The Bengals is they one of those teams that you can't count out, man. But his injuries are starting to stack up like AIs. And this team, these defensive ends and these linebackers, they move, and so you need to be mobile. Peyton Manning got away with it. I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. We'll see which Joe Burrow show up, but he's the key piece of that team being successful this year. And without him, they don't make it.
Absolutely. All right. So I didn't even realize in the 3 teams I chose that I'm really anxious to see outside of Baltimore this year are all AFC teams. So the third one I really want to see, and this is interesting to me, and maybe it's subconsciously because I live in an AFC South city, but the third one I really want to see are the Indianapolis Colts. Because Anthony Richardson, he's going to be healthy this year. He's an absolute freak. Shane Steichen is a very good play caller, but Anthony Richardson, he gotta stop thinking he's damn Adrian Peterson.
Cam Newton.
His health, right? He got to take his health into account. Because Anthony Richardson, he's absolutely like half Cam Newton, half Tim Tebow. That's exactly what he is. He thinks he's a fullback sometimes, and but he'll be back healthy. And this is my guy right here. You see running the football is AT. That's my dude. Like I've been such a big fan of his for many years now. You know, again going back to Wisconsin with the Badgers, and he's just such a tough runner. What was it, 2 years ago? He had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage and 1,800 plus rushing yards. So that guy, when he gets it going, man, he is for real on the ground. He's one of the best running backs, probably a top 3 running back in the league when he's healthy. Derrick Henry, him, and I'd probably say Nick Chubb. I think those are probably my top 3. What do you guys think of the Colts, man? They are interesting. Obviously, quarterback league, and Anthony Richardson got to stay healthy. But what are your thoughts there?
Well, I'll go ahead and kick it off. I want to see him sit in the pocket more. All right? Because, like, at this point, you already showing that, bro, you just a big running back at this point that just knows how to throw the ball. All right? Yeah. Like, sit back in the pocket a little bit more, man. I want to see you have to be able to last throughout the rest of the year. This is 18 weeks of just straight smash mouth football, baby.
Yeah.
These ain't them college boys.
And even when he's running, he's out here trying to truck people. Like
he's trying to truck everybody.
He's not even running out of bounds. He's not picking up the yardage and sliding. Like, come on, man.
Man, look, I need the man to just learn to just sit in the pocket. Because what I saw when he played in Florida, and this is why I didn't have him drafted high, I didn't like his decision making in Florida. I think that that was my biggest flaw in him. I think he made it to the league just off your pure athleticism. And I think that's what he's using in the Colts. And I'm like, Bubba, that's not going to get you far. Right. You're not going to be in this game much longer if you keep trying to just use your athleticism to win the game. All right. You have to learn to read the defense and sit back, sit in that pocket, learn to make the right throws and stuff like that. And yes, that's going to develop over time. Hopefully, with that injury, he sat back and was just watching the game and was like, okay, all right, slide, go out of bounds. You know what I mean?
Right.
Last to make the next play. All right, I could have threw the ball here. I need to try to make this throw or learn how to make this throw. So I just think right now, he's just using his body way too soon, way too early, and way too much.
Yeah, I agree. Jake?
So these guys have to see the Houston Texans, right? They got to see the Texans, if I'm not mistaken, right? They got a new coach from Philadelphia Eagles who was their offensive coordinator. So you got an offensive-minded guy. I'm looking forward to see what he brings to the table when it comes to the coach. I don't have a lot of stock in the coach this year. I don't. But I would pick – if I had to pick a team that was going to come out of that North, I would definitely go with South. I'm sorry. Yeah. I would definitely have to go with the Texans. But
yeah, I agree.
Formidable opponent. I think they can score the ball on all levels. They got a running game, quarterback. I'm not sure who their tight end is. I haven't put much stock in those guys. So if they can get a good tight end, most teams that has that dual threat where they got receivers and running backs. They normally do well, and so we just have to wait and see from where I stand. That's a bubble team for me, but I definitely got the Houston Texans doing a little bit more, especially with the addition of Stephon Diggs.
No, I agree. But I think that it's just that Indianapolis is a team that I want to see how they do. And honestly, I think Steichen, again, he's a very good offensive coach. We saw how he helped to develop Jalen Hurts and help him become where he ended up becoming. But I think the key here is, if it's me, and because I'm old school in my football mentality, run the ball, stop the run. That's the way you win. I would horse Jonathan Taylor and really make it easy and try to make the reads simple for Anthony Richardson, right? You have some read option concepts to keep the defense honest, but you don't do it very often, right? You utilize the RPOs, but I'm horsing Jonathan Taylor. I want him to have between 250 and 300 carries on the year if he can stay healthy. I want him to have 14 to 1,500 yards rushing on the ground because he's quite capable of doing that, and that takes a lot of pressure off of a young quarterback. And now it brings up the safeties, right? It brings up the linebacker.
You got to load the box.
That's right. You have to stop that. And so what does that do? Gives a young quarterback easy one-on-one matchups outside to try and identify. And then if he's capable of making the throws, he will make the throws. That's what I do. Again, I'm obviously no NFL coach, but certain things seem pretty simple to me. But that's me.
Yeah, they said you played against a D3 team back when you was
Oh no, they ain't say that. Yeah. If you talking basketball, yeah. Football, nope.
Oh, I thought you played. I thought you went out there and played football too.
No.
Yeah, I think without questioning, if the Texans fumble, then you'll see the Colts win that division, man. But other than that, even with what's that kid name with the blonde hair that just got the big contract?
Trevor Lawrence
in Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville, and then you got Tennessee Titans. That's turmoil there. Those two duds.
I agree.
I wish we was in that conference, man. Goodness gracious. In that division, man. That's a cakewalk right there.
Yeah, for the Ravens, it would be. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Third stomp, but I just wouldn't want to see the Colts in the playoffs, man. That's
yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna leave it right there. This has been a long one, so I'm not even going to open up the phone lines. Damn, it's almost 11 o'clock. I'm not even going to open up the phone lines on this.
Hey, that's what Sneeze said. Marathon show tonight, baby.
Show tonight. So we are going to leave it right here. Thank you so much for everybody who came out. Thank you so much for all the interaction in the chat. Thank you for those who left super chats. I really appreciate y'all. If anybody's in here who hasn't already, please go ahead before you leave, click that like and that subscribe button. We need that. And make sure you're sharing out the channel to other sports fans. Again, I really appreciate y'all coming out. I appreciate your interaction. It's been fun. This was a great show tonight. So we will be back with you Saturday night. And I feel you, it's not that serious. It's actually not that long. It's going to go a lot faster than you think. College is coming, pro is coming. It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait.
It's a long time, bro.
But in the interim, guess what? We got the Olympics, and we're going to talk about that too. We got the Olympics. We got Olympic basketball. We got track and field with the sprinters, the United States Jamaica War. We got some good stuff coming up.
You're trying, and I'm gonna applaud you for it. Nah, it's a ways to go. It's a ways to go, man. We want the football season to start, man.
We good. Oh, my bad, Edward Jackson. I didn't even answer your question, bro. Thank you, G. No, I don't think Tua will get paid. I don't think he'll get paid. G thinks he'll get paid. I don't think that they believe in him, and I wouldn't pay a dude who cannot win if it's less than 45 degrees. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't pay a dude who's only had one healthy season in his career. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't pay a dude who doesn't have a playoff win in his career. I just wouldn't. I need to see more. Now, if he changes all those things, yeah, then I'll pay him. But I'm making play out this season. And I'm definitely not giving this dude market setting money. Hell nah, not at all. But that's just me. All right, everybody.
I felt like you had that all on cue cards. Like you were so ready to answer that.
I did. That's just how I feel about it. You know what I mean? Nah, that's just how I feel about it. All right, everybody. Again, thank you so much for coming out. Really appreciate y'all. Gonna go ahead and end it right here. We'll be back with you Saturday night. And I'm out. Peace.